And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, we got the food stamp shutdown. A lot of anxiety surrounding this. Hey, you know what? If you are able-bodied, you could go out there and work. You could do something. If you are not able-bodied, don't even worry about it because you're going to be all right. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Marjorie Taylor Greene, what's going on with her? Like, what's really happening? Is she on our side? Is she not on our side? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Vance went to the Turning Point event. A lot of the left making something out of it, talking about, oh, he's trying to push up on Charlie's wife. It makes no sense. Like, this ain't 1950 where you only got two options in the whole town. What type of sense would that make, even if you would want to do that, if he was not married with kids? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we got the White House Halloween festivities back in effect this year, 2025. I missed Trump and Melania out there handing out candies to the youngins. They recreated the infamous Minion scene where they put the candy on top of the head and it fell off on the ground. They did that again with the lamp. Very creative costumes. Shout out to the kids enjoying their Halloween. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Plus, Zohran Mamdani. We got a few street interviews, people that may have about 5 IQ cells in their head put together. But we'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. There's a whole lot going on. There's a whole lot of things that I've seen. Quite a few interesting characters. A lot of the street interviews, sometimes you could tell when things are staged. But sometimes you could tell that this is what we have produced in this country. That tells me that our education system, K through 12, public, is terrible. It's terrible, awful. And these kids a lot of times have silver spoon. They come from people that have money, rich parents. I don't know what kind of education they're getting. They're becoming well educated in certain things, like high intellect things at times. But when you're talking about basic ability to be able to interact with humans, it ain't really there. The basic things that human beings need, the basic things that drive humans to do things a certain way, they don't really understand. And maybe some do, and they manipulate those who don't understand. For example, Zohran Mamdani. This kind of guy may understand that what he's promising won't come to fruition, but he can just use those who do believe in it to get his goal of communism. And then when communism really hits and people see just how bad it is, he could deflect blame. Oh, it's not my fault. Blame this and blame that. The same as always. Hey, this is why I say, let Zohran happen. Let him happen. Let that whole thing go out. Let that whole thing play out, because the people in New York, they got to hear it. They got to see it. They have to experience what he's going to bring upon them. You got to experience it. Ain't no other way to really learn. For some people, you could tell them till you blue in the face, hey, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and that's going to happen, but they're not going to believe it. And if they're successfully brainwashed, I think Yuri Bezmenov will always tell y'all about. I think Yuri Bezmenov said it. When they get demoralized, it doesn't really matter what you tell them. It doesn't really matter what they see. They're not going to believe it. You can actually bring them to a place where there's no food in the grocery store. One of these Mamdani, one of these Mamdani huts, one of these Mamdani shops. Oh, we're gonna have. I don't know what he was saying about the grocery stores, like price caps. It's like, bro, come on. This is 2025. You're talking about Soviet Union stuff, Cuba. That stuff don't work. It never ever works. It may work for a while, but at a certain point, the money's not going to be there, and you're gonna trifle with the free market in the way that doesn't make any sense. You're going to disincentivize people to actually work and do anything. You're going to create a terrible environment. It's going to be a bad environment, but hey, people have to experience that terrible environment to really understand. When you ask them on the street in New York, What do you feel about Mamdani? Some have brains in their head, some have sense, and some don't. And I think the goal of the Democratic Party, in my humble opinion, is to keep Americans ignorant to the things that actually matter. So when it's time to vote, they're going to vote for the worst thing possible for the party to remain in power forever. The Democrats say that we are trying to destroy democracy. They keep pointing to January 6th, but it is them who are trying to destroy democracy by importing a bunch of illegal aliens, keeping them uneducated, keeping everybody confused. Tower of Babel. You got 10,000 languages spoken in one neighborhood. Don't nobody know what's going on. You go into McDonald's to get a number 2. You can't even get that. She don't know what's going on. The menu is broken. What is number 2 anyway? That could be a hamburger or a cheeseburger. I don't know what's going on, so I can't see the menu. Hey, I'm going to the front. Hey, the menu is broken. What the number 2? What the number 2? Hey, you know what? I want a double cheeseburger and fries. Chicken sandwich? Like, that is not how society can actually function if we can't understand each other. And the funny part is that, you know, I think, shout out to the Christians. I love the Christians. Shout out to the Christians. But I think Christians can do a better job of being able to apply the Bible to what's happening today. Talk about Tower of Babel. I've not heard that phrase at all. I feel like I'm the only one that's saying it on like a popular broadcast. Maybe it's just me because I'm not a big political podcast listener. But a lot of the track kind, the Christian stuff, you don't talk about the things that are actually in the Bible that apply to right now today. I've read the book many, many times. I know it. I know all the allegories and the stories and the whatnots. We're not talking about it for real. Talk about Tower of Babel and how it's not conducive to society. It doesn't help us actually go anywhere. It doesn't help us function. Talk about that. Hey, these languages, man, look, I know school teachers and they got kids in the class and you got Mandarin. Look, it ain't just Spanish. You got Mandarin Chinese. You got Canto Chinese. You got Hindi. You got Portuguese. You got a little bit of everything in these school systems. And ain't no interpreters, ain't no money for no interpreters. And ESL used to at one point have been to teach kids who spoke Spanish how to speak English. But now you got everybody in the world in that thing. Everybody in the world. And then when we say, hey, you know what? Not only are we being overwhelmed in the school system, it's costing us a lot of money. We're being overwhelmed in the school system, also in the street with the illegal aliens, doing all types of random activities, random crimes for no reason at all, dumb stuff, third world stuff. Okay, when we say, hey, we got a problem with that, we need to get them up out of here. You got some who don't know anything, people that got about one brain cell to share between 25 people. They say that we're racist and we're xenophobic and everything else because they live in a different part of the city, a different part of the world in which they don't got to do with what we do with as people that actually work. If you don't work and or you got parents that got money and they fund everything like a Zoran Mamdani, you think that the things that you're talking about actually work, but you have no real world experience. All you have is a book you read that you think makes sense, but the book cannot actually apply to society in the way that actually works. But again, people who believe in these fairy tales of stuff like communism actually working, all right, go ahead, take that, enjoy that for a little while, and give me your report back. After you've experienced communism for, let's give it, matter of fact, hold on. How long do y'all think those who want communism will actually survive under communism? Y'all let me know. Would it be 6 months? Would it be a year? Would it be 2 years? Let me know how long that would be. And you know what's funny? The whole food stamp thing. People are complaining about the government cutting that spigot off, okay, of all the free monies. And by the way, we all know what's going on with food stamps, right? It ain't to feed people. Let's go ahead and just kill that right now. It ain't to feed people. All right, because first of all, if it's about food, I think we could do a survey, just an eye test of those who are on food stamp benefits and say, you know what, let's actually decrease what we're giving to people because clearly they don't need no more food. People that's like 500 pounds each on food stamps. You seen these shows, My 1,000 Pound Life. You saw the dude that was in his bed and had to get extracted from his home with a cherry picker. Ask yourself this, what does he do for a living? Exactly. All he's going to do is just continue to get fat in his bed with food stamps. That is what it does. Not everybody, not all, because I know I'm going to get some comments. Well, ABL, I'm 101 years old and now I don't got no more legs. You know what I'm talking about. Please don't play no games. Please, please, please don't play games, okay? If your son got severe autism and he can't move, I understand. That kind of person, okay, I'm not going to squabble about them. I'm talking about the able-bodied people with, you know what, okay. Able-bodied people who refuse to do anything other than collect food stamps. People that are of working age. And I like the new requirements. People talk about it's slavery. No, I like the new requirements where you have to at least be working 20 hours a week. Now, they're not trying to say you got to work 20 more hours in which you're working to get food stamps. No, if you have a job and you work 20 hours a week, okay, now we can start talking about food stamps. Or if you don't want to work 20 hours a week, which is part-time, if you don't want to work 20 hours a week, all right, go ahead and just volunteer 20 hours a week. Volunteering, picking up trash on the side of the road, basic stuff that don't take no brain power at all. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to do these things. Or just be in school. Or just be a little kid and you good. Able-bodied adults, get off your hind parts and go to work. And you know what? People that don't work, I hate. And I don't use that word lightly. People who refuse to work, who can work, I hate. If you're of working age and you're able-bodied, you're not disabled, and you refuse to work, I hate you. Because guess what? I've always gone hard, always worked. I used to be excited to go to work. Hey man, you want to take off? You want to? Can I get your Saturday shift for 8 hours? Let me get that. Let me get the Saturday shift and the Sunday shift. Let me do open to close. Especially if you're young, if you like in your 20s and 30s, especially, man, please. I be out here cleaning up. People don't want to work. I be out here getting so much money, it'd be ridiculous. Ridiculous. Like I said, I cut grass and I get $100,000 in a year off the rip. Easy. Cutting grass. People just lazy. And the working people, the Americans that most likely voted for Trump, the working people say enough of you freeloaders, lazy, entitled, get up and do something. And it's not color specific. I don't care if you black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe, blue, green, purple, indigo, Roy G. Biv, all the colors. I don't care. I look at you based on what you do in society, how you contribute, and not your skin color. If you want to smoke crack all day, I don't care what color you are. I'm going to see you in the same light. If you're playing PlayStation and getting big fat with no work at all and you're 35 years old, I see you in the same way. It don't matter what color you are. Hey, listen, when I was young, I had my job I worked at, I got like 38 hours a week. They ain't gonna give me 40 hours because they're talking about you got to get full-time benefits. Look, I'm not squabbling about no full-time benefits at no job washing dishes, okay? I'm just here for a little while. I'm passing through, so it's fine. Let me get my 38 hours. Let me get my consistent schedule. And then at the same time, I'm going to school. I got a full load of school. I got 4 to 5 classes in the school. And I got my basically full-time job, okay, when I'm like 18, 19, 20, 21. You should be working like that at that age because you have energy. You could go out there and do it. You're just starting out. That's the way it's supposed to be. And you're supposed to be able to get these entry-level jobs like McDonald's. But then when you got a 35-year-old from Honduras in there talking about some, what the number 2? When you got that going on, it kind of stifles your progression. It prevents you from being able to get on that rung of success. This is a thing that has been talked about for a long time. When you raise the minimum wage and you hire in illegal aliens, it blocks out Americans from being able to work. And then you incentivize Americans to not work with the finances. So it's a situation that is unsustainable. You can't keep bringing in all these new people with all these different languages. You're going to have Tower of Babel in an unrecognizable country. And what could happen in the future is you kind of like balkanize, break apart, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And I think that the region that will do the best, if that were to happen, God forbid, I'm not trying to say nothing about civil war, but if that were to happen, the South would be the best, because I feel like we have more people who want to work and can do things on our own without having to rely upon somebody else to do it. In my opinion, maybe y'all think differently. Maybe it's the Midwest. Shout out to you guys out there. You guys go hard too. Maybe the Northeast. Okay, a lot of you guys out there kind of do your thing. How about the West Coast? Which region of the country would do the best if they were to break apart and become independent? Y'all let me know in the comments. Raise the minimum wage. At one point, I remember the argument was fight for 15. Wasn't that the argument? Fight for 15? Because it was $7.25, and it's still like that on the federal level, but a lot of states have risen it way above that. But the original complaint was fight for 15. And what did we say back then? We said, once you get 15, that's going to be the new floor, and then you're going to want 25, and then 40, and here we are. I heard them say the other day, we want 25 an hour to be minimum wage. Didn't we already call that? People say, oh, well, you're always going to have inflation. Well, why would you do things to purposely induce inflation? Like, there is a thing called inflation as far as a gradual rise of costs. But when you see these sharp spikes, it's because we intervened in a way that was improper. The COVID, the lockdowns, all that, it was improper. And then now you got the Obamacare stuff. That was going to be that was going to be an ultimate disaster from the beginning, and everybody knew it, and it's not been anything other than a disaster. All right, so I'm reading some of the comments about who would win. Texas. Yeah, I thought about Texas. I would include, if we're going to have the South, I would include Texas. Okay. Yeah, I know that might be unfair, but California is not no slouch. Well, they shouldn't be a slouch. Big population, a lot of money, a lot of smart people. Okay, so you guys keep California. We keep Texas. The Northeast, they're going to get New York, Boston, Philly, all of that up there. And then the Midwest would get Chicago and Minnesota, aka Somalia. They would get those places up there. So I think it'd be first South, then the Northeast, then the West, then the Midwest. What do y'all think? Y'all let me know. Okay. 725 is evil. All right, man. We just got trolls. Like, don't even really. Okay, no minimum wage. Exactly. There shouldn't be any minimum wage. Whatever I agree to get paid and whatever you agree to pay me, that should be what it is. And we can see just how irrelevant the minimum wage is because federally it's $7.25, but how many places still actually pay that for the minimum? California is like $20 an hour. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. California minimum wage is $16.50 an hour, but on January 1st, 26, it'll be $16.90. All right. And many cities and counties in California have their own higher minimum wages, and fast food workers have a separate minimum wage of $20 as of 24. Remember the whole thing with the minimum wage? Oh, that's something else. Let's talk about that since we right here. Hey, you know what? Hold on. And before I make my next point, I just want to give you a visual aid just so you understand where I'm coming from. Okay. Just so you kind of understand. Hold on. No, not this one. This ain't it. But California's minimum wage is very high. And what do they have to? It's not really helping them. And also, if you are a politician, somehow you get to be exempt. Remember the whole thing with Gavin Newsom, where they had that law. Okay, if you work in the fast food place specifically, you have a separate minimum wage from the regular state minimum wage, which is obviously different than the federal minimum wages. So you got 3 minimum wages in one place. Okay, does minimum mean minimum or not? I thought minimum was the lowest you could pay. So you got one for the federal, one for the state, and then one for specific people. Unless you happen to be Gavin Newsom, who wants to exempt himself and his friend he went to high school with from paying the $20. Funny how that works. Hey, Gavin Newsom, you say that $20 is a humane thing to do. It's the right thing to do. All this, that, and the third, but you don't want to pay it. And the visual aid I was going to use is George Orwell, Animal Farm. Okay. Some animals are more equal than others. You politician, do whatever you want to do when it's fine. Okay. But your regular citizen, your regular person just out there working hard, hey man, here are your rules. You do this, You do this while we do that. That's kind of how that works. That's Zoran Mom down to y'all day. You do this while we do that. We're going to have our own rules. We're going to live our own kind of way. And you guys will live how we tell you to live. And ultimately, what you're going to have is a form of serfdom. You're going to have people that serve the elites. And it's already kind of starting to happen right now. Because there are attempts, I would say, and maybe it's been successful, to transform us from a production-based economy to a service-based economy. And I think we've probably been there for a long time. The productivity in the country is starting to go away. A lot of your Rust Belt, all of that's been gone for a very long time, many, many years. Everything got to be about service, and you're going to be serving those that got the big money. So they want to install a serfdom, make us be the subjects, and then say, if you don't want that, then somehow you are a racist. But hey, it's fine. That's why I say, if we break apart, the South gonna take it. The South will take it for sure. That's how that goes. Monet says, does this dude even know what he's talking about? Laughing emoji. I mean, ask me a specific question and I'll give you a specific answer. Okay. And you watch me for a reason. So you must want to know something. Maybe you heard something that you thought was interesting and you wanted to hear more. So you can just ask me a direct question. I'll give you a direct answer. All right. So, but yeah, shout out to Gavin. I mean, hey, 2028, he's going to be running max headroom for president. So the crack smoke, all of that good stuff out there in Los Angeles, San Francisco, that's coming straight to your doorstep. Them big tent cities, them big tent condos on the side of the road in Los Angeles, yeah, that'll be coming right to your doorstep. That's how we're going to do. Nomadic says, yep, all the blue cities got DEI mentals running the show. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's the leadership, really, like California, bad leadership through and through. That is all that matters. But shout out to you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed your Halloween. If you celebrate Halloween, hopefully you enjoyed it. Your kids got some candy. All right, shout out to all the youngins out there participating. That's one good thing that I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot more people participate in like community activities. Okay. Very good. Touching grass. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a whole lot. Hold on. Cardinal Flanagan says, Animal Farm, 1943. Mom down me from New York, 2026. That's what they call progress now. Exactly. Not much progress there. Same old tire ideas that do not work. Just repackage and that guy with a suit on from India. That's it. Fire Mission says the other side, if you're still working at a fast food restaurant in your late 20s, early 30s, you messed up somewhere. Correct. When I was working at Old Country Buffet, I started at 17 in high school. I'm in the 12th grade. I'm a senior. I'm about to graduate. I'm like, okay, I want to graduate, have a job in college and be able to, you know what I'm saying, pay for some stuff. And I left there when I was 22 and I've not worked anything like that since then. Okay. Now I understand people coming, you know, they got hard times or whatever. But they go back to what he just said. If you work in those kind of jobs in your late 20s, early 30s as a man especially, you messed up somewhere. So there's a mistake you made. You messed up. And that should be temporary until you get back on your feet. It shouldn't be a thing that you do for your entire life and expect to have some type of fantastic, rich existence from it. You're going to get what you get. And if you want to get better, you got to go out there and get more skills, become better as an individual in society. Okay, that's the thing. That's right, Tesla. What's old is what's new. Absolutely. Stratus says SNAP rioters are waiting for their food stamps to reload. Hey, they waiting for the EBT refresh. Hey, you know what? The thing about it is, like I was saying earlier, I don't know if I made the point earlier I was trying to make, but if you are on EBT right now and you are weighing like 300 pounds, the government should be able to look at you and tell you're getting too many calories. So don't tell me EBT is strictly about feeding people and without it, they're going to starve. Don't tell me that. They can look at you and determine how many calories you're consuming and they can adjust the food stamps accordingly. But it's not even about food. It's about the money people get from selling them. Because a lot of kids on food stamps go to school to eat the free lunch and breakfast there. And they don't eat when they come home because the money from the food stamps got spent on someone's lifestyle. I hate it. I really do, man. People that don't want to do anything and just take from the government. It's just, you just become a stain. You become a strain upon society. You become a burden upon society. And that kind of behavior has got to stop. It must end immediately. It's got to end. So I love the work requirements. Okay, 20 hours a week, 80 hours a month. Let's go ahead. Let's go all the way. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene, like I was saying before, I don't know what's going on with her. I don't really get it. I understand you may have some disagreements with the Republican Party, but let's talk about that behind closed doors. You in Congress, figure out a way to solve it. Aren't you a legislator? Aren't you a lawmaker? Why don't you have any ideas to fix the problems you're talking about? And then, I'm going to ask y'all, because I was watching the Tom Dillon, whoever. I'm watching that podcast, another, big back. But anyway, I'm watching this podcast with Marjorie, and he's talking about, I'm going to dinner parties, and they're saying that you should run for president. You could be the next president. Let me ask y'all, would you vote for Marjorie Taylor Greene to be the president of the USA in 2028 or any year after that? Y'all let me know. And I don't mean to poison the well and influence your decision, your answer, but I would never in my life vote for a woman to become the president, number one. And number two, it most certainly wouldn't be her, because I'm already seeing evidence of some funny activity, inconsistency. I don't really like that too much. I don't like that too much. And, the things, some of our core principles, the biggest thing to me was the migrant crisis. And I've been saying that from the beginning. This is my biggest issue. People ask me in the street, what's your biggest issue with this election? What's your biggest concern? I said the migrants. So when she gets on Tom, Tim, Jake, whoever podcast talking about we got to slow down on the deportations because I'm a contractor. It's like, all right, man, you're not even really serious. You know what I'm saying? You got that same old slave master mentality. Hey, if you free the slaves right now, who's going to pick this cotton? I got cotton to pick. Listen, I don't know what to tell you. I'm fresh out of ideas to give you about how to solve your business, but you can't do that anymore. You cannot do that anymore. So figure something else out. I don't know what to tell you. That's just the bottom line. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. So I'm reading some of the comments. It could be you, me, not me. Lil Boy Blue says, why are Republicans willing to tell SNAP recipients that they can eat what they can eat, but oppose letting the government negotiate drug prices when paying for Medicare and Medicaid? I mean, I'm not sure what you're talking about as far as the negotiating the prices. I'm not sure. That's a loaded question that needs to be given full context. So I'm not going to answer the second part, but what do you mean as far as telling them what they can eat? You're talking about some of the restrictions on nutrition, but that's always been there. That's not necessarily a Republican thing. For the longest, you couldn't just get whatever you wanted with EBT benefits. It's only been in recent years where you're able to just get whatever. And also, you're not supposed to sell the benefits. People do it anyway. Okay, that's been going on for a very long time. So if we were to crack down on the existing rules and create rules that make sense, then why would you be against that? Furthermore, why would we fund people to get sick with these sugary carbonated beverages, big bag snacks, which we know is going to cause them to become obese and get diabetes and high blood pressure? Why would we fund that, then turn around and fund them when they go to the hospital? And then also we're going to damage the pool of American people that could go out there and work. Why would you intentionally poison your own citizenry? That makes no sense. What if a battle strikes out with a foreign nation or some supernatural force? You're going to have a public totally unprepared, on drugs, fat, can't move, sick. That's not how you want to be as a nation. So the government has a responsibility to take care of its constituents. And if you're talking about getting government resources, part of that should be with the care of the constituent in mind. It shouldn't just be given for no reason. It shouldn't just be given to where it could poison the person or damage them. That's going to be antithetical to the role of the government. It shouldn't be just about giving you whatever, like a Santa Claus. You know what I mean? Like a baby talking about, can I eat ice cream every day? That ain't the role of the government. Anyway, I'm getting triggered. Before I go any further, let's shout out to sponsors. Shout out to you guys, of course, for being the very first sponsor, watching the videos. Y'all know without you, I couldn't do anything. But also shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description, or go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to my merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY. That letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website, and on the front page, I have articles for each long-form video that I produce. And in each article, I got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, politically at non-state, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my email address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you think you're speaking to me on the interwebs about something, you're probably not. If it doesn't come from my email address, and if you don't email me first. And my email address is contact@anthonyblogan.com. Again, contact@anthonyblogan.com. The email is always on the contact page of the website, right in the description, or at anthonyblogan.com. Y'all know how I do. It's not going to be me talking on the phone to you. It's going to be a guy, Lagos, Nigeria, India somewhere. That could come again. It's going to be a guy over in Eastern Europe. If he dies, he dies. It's not going to be me that's talking to you on the phone. The guy you're talking to is going to take your money. He's never going to return. He'll be gone forever. Do not go to the Target with the gift card. You're going to get scammed. But yeah, shout out to the scammers. Please don't talk to them. Please don't engage, because you will lose your entire shirt. But anyway, let's talk about the Trump Halloween. ABL, I want to see something nice. I got you. Don't worry about it. The Trump Halloween was so heartwarming. I loved it. We need to do this every year with the other presidents. It needs to be just as fun. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. And let's get some sound, and RIP in advance to the headphone users. Hey, you two, don't give me no copyright on the music. He had to do that. You saw the flat surface of the kid with the lamp. He had to put the bar on the head. I mean, that had to happen. I want that to happen every single year. It needs to be a tradition. Now, this is 2019 where you did it with the minion. The funniest part was that it fell on the ground. That was the funniest part. Like, they just having a good time, man. It's good to see people having a good time, enjoying themselves, and enjoying the holidays, bringing some joy to the youth. It's a great thing to see. Listen, Joe Biden could never. Joe Biden would have to be out there in the wheelchair at a certain point, and it would have been crazy to see it. It would have been straight elder abuse. I saw a video of Jesse Jackson and some black dude talking about politics. Jesse on the couch like he about dead. Like he didn't already got, what they call it when they make them stuffed dead animals, taxidermy. He look like taxidermy on the couch. It's like, man, listen, please let this man rest. He's like 1,000 years old. He looks every year of it. Let him rest. I don't like elder abuse. Y'all know me. I don't like elder abuse. I don't like child abuse or elder abuse. That's like the same thing to me. I don't get jiggy with that. I don't care if it's Democrat, Republican, or whoever. Like when they had Dianne Feinstein, like she was she had one more breath in her body. After that breath, it was going to be a wrap. A mummy, exactly. A sarcophagus. It's like, what is going on? Now, of course, we got Trump at the after party. Okay, he at the after, he's at Mar-a-Lago chilling. And you see the hot young ladies. Yes, I said it. One thing about conservative women, you're talking about the hottest. Okay, when I see a leftist function, I'm not really seeing anything that inspires me. I don't see any beauty. I'm seeing blue hair type of, you know what I mean, basement kind of things going on. I'm not really seeing beauty at a leftist event, but at a Republican event, Mar-a-Lago, oh yeah. Hey, I know y'all saw Sydney Sweeney. Now, I cannot show her here because we got kids watching, okay? But I know y'all saw it. I know my men, I know y'all saw it. Sydney Sweeney, that is kind of what we got over on the conservative side. So if I'm here to recruit anybody to become conservative, that right there, hey, you go into these liberal events, you go into Antifa, and you get nerd stench, you got some unattractive human beings, it's because they got internal rot. They got things happening on the inside, and people can see it. So if you don't want to deal with that type of energy, that kind of activity, come on to the right. Okay, it's all good over here. It is all good, and we're not going to judge you for being over there for you didn't know anything. You know, we forgive you because you know not what you do. All right, so let's go to JD Vance. Did I show this already? I don't think I did. At Turning Point, y'all let me know.
Let me just.
Hey, I know y'all seeing them. Hey, I know. Hey, and as far as I know, everything is just straight up organic, homemade. Okay, no, default factory settings. Nothing added. No aftermarket pieces. You know, no lift added to the. You know what I'm saying? It's all straight up factory settings, factory made. All right.
Say on the government shutdown in particular, the reality here is that there's a very simple bill that just reopens the government. It does it through pretty much the end of the year. That got every single Republican in the House of Representatives to support it. And then it got 52 Republicans in the Senate and 3 Democrats in the Senate to support it. But because of weird Senate procedural rules, it requires a 60-vote threshold. So on that issue in particular, when you have every single Republican with like 2 exceptions in both houses of Congress, I feel pretty confident. I know that I'm partisan. I know I have an R next to my name. But I feel pretty damn good saying the shutdown is the Democrats' fault because we voted again and again to open it.
Shout out JD Vance. Now, about JD. Do you guys think JD should be our guy? Should he be our guy in 2028? I like JD. And if it's not, like I said before, Marco, he could do it. He does everything else. Let him be the president too. Okay. So between JD, Marco, Vivek Ramaswamy, y'all let me know. Who should it be? And y'all still talking about Sydney Sweeney. Yeah. Hey, Sydney. Them kind of girls like Sydney Sweeney are all over the right. Go to a conservative convention. Go to Mar-a-Lago. Go to one of these places like that. Go to Nashville. Hey, if you want Sydney Sweeney, go to Nashville. They right there, right on Broadway. Just go down there and hang out. It's gonna be like fruit from a tree. It's gonna be like that out there. So yeah, do that. And you can't be soft. You can't be weird. You can't be LGBT. Confused about yourself. As long as you are a heterosexual man, confident in yourself, you be good money out there if you want a Sydney Sweeney. But if you want to get one of these blue hairs, one of these, you know what I'm saying, they, them, so if you want to get one of those, then you could just have nerd stench, go down to where they be at, go to their basements, okay, go to where they be at and engage in that type of activity, and you get one of them. I've heard some stories about some of these kind of people, the they, thems, and how they really be, like how they be in hotel rooms. I ain't gonna get too graphic because this is a family show, but y'all tear them, y'all they, thems, y'all tear them hotel rooms all the way up. A they, them party is the absolute worst. I feel like a they, them party is like a certain level of hell. If you find yourself in there, if you see me with they, thems, call the police. Hey, there's a black guy right here. I feel like he's being captured. Please come rescue him. Bring the National Guard and get this man away from their clutches. That's why I don't go to Trader Joe's, because they be in there. I don't feel comfortable. I don't like the they them energy. That ain't really my cup of tea. Okay. Yeah, the bathing ain't right. The armpits are crazy. You could braid the hair. It's like, that's not what I like to be around. I like to be around something a little bit better than that. Okay. That's all that I'm saying. Now, I don't know if she is a they them, but I feel like it might be kind of on the same, it might be kind of on the same wavelength. Let's watch one of these responses.
I can believe that the United States should lower its levels of immigration in the future, while also respecting that there are people who have come here through lawful immigration pathways that have contributed to the country. But just because one person or 10 people or 100 people came in legally and contributed to the United States of America, does that mean that we're thereby committed to let in 1 million or 10 million or 100 million people a year in the future? No, that's not right. We cannot have, I'll go and finish. We cannot have an immigration policy where what was good for the country 50 or 60 years ago binds the country inevitably for the future. There's too many people who want to come to the United States of America, and my job as vice president is not to look out for the interests of the whole world. It's to look out for the people of the United States. Now,
right on. There we go. Now, I think her question was about the immigrants coming over and why did we give them false promises. It was something to that extent. So don't quote me on that exactly. But the whole thing is we're being overrun with the illegal aliens. Overrun with them. We already got problems in the country. The Antifa, that's a lot of homegrown people. And then they got the nerve to try to come over. They got the audacity to come over here on a visa and join Antifa. It's like, how are you going to come to America? Who was the guy that was in, you know what I'm talking about, the dude in college who had got his green card revoked? How you gonna come over here on the green card to destabilize a nation? Go to any country and destabilize it on purpose, or engage in efforts to destabilize a nation. Go to China and call yourself being part of an anti-communist party of China group. Man, please. Hey, you got two fates. The first, they disappear you in the toy factory somewhere in the mountains. Or number two, they go ahead and just delete you right there. Or, it ain't, maybe they lock you up, but they rather have you working somewhere. Put you far away, and all you could do is work in the factory, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to live. You're going to die. So, man, please. Go to other nations and try that nonsense that people are allowed to do over here. Now, one of the biggest things, like I said, is the migrant crisis. But the healthcare for the illegal aliens was something that I've been against, because that's a magnet to keep them. You see, when illegal aliens know they're going to get free this, free that, a job with no taxes, people don't really get it. Illegal aliens are not paying their federal income tax. Like, they're getting paid under the table. If they get paid, let's say $60 a year, that's straight 60 with no taxes taken out often. Oh, they got an I-10. Let's not even, don't even really, they're paying 60s with no taxes. And they get government benefits. And they send the money back home to their country of origin where the money is worth more. They're making more than us, but in effect, they make less. But because we got to pay American prices, we have no home country to send stuff back to, and we got to pay taxes, even if we don't have the benefit of having that job. And when we do have the job, we got to pay taxes on that. We are getting fleeced to take care of these brand new people. That's the issue. And the worst part is that the Democrats who are doing this don't want to be honest about it. They say, hey, if you're against the illegal aliens, you're somehow a racist. All we're saying is we're not trying to be gypped. We're not trying to be screwed out of our money. And we want to be at the opportunity to work. And if you don't want to work, then you shouldn't be coddled. You shouldn't be given all these things, because that'll just keep you right there on a state of dependence. Hey, somebody was trying to tell me Americans don't want to work. I would like, guess what? Get rid of the welfare state and see how quickly everybody going to want to work. See how fast they run to the place, they run anywhere they can to get a job.
A major reason given by the Democratic Party for the government shutdown is the passionate desire to get rid of the one big beautiful bill that was just signed into law. But that law allows us to ensure that illegal immigrants are not having their health care paid for by the federal government. Turns out, despite allegations that that's not true, it is 100% a truthful statement to say that we're spending money from Washington to care for illegal immigrants around the country. How do I know that? We started investigating the first few states that we thought would be most likely to have done this. And it turns out just in the last few months, it's already $1 billion plus of money that's been spent in states that think that they should provide health care to legal immigrants. What that means is that if you're a taxpayer in Texas or Florida, your tax dollars could have been used to fund the care of illegal immigrants in California. That's not the law anymore. So we have stopped it. We are clawing back that money. We've already gotten hundreds of millions of dollars back, which again, it proves that these states realized that they were guilty because they wouldn't give us the money back otherwise. So that bill, the one big beautiful bill, is absolutely essential to keep the financial integrity of the system in place, to make sure our vulnerable are protected. It cannot be repealed, and that's why the shutdown needs to end.
All right, there we go. So, I mean, he's saying exactly what I've been saying, because Democrats, when we talk about healthcare for illegal aliens, they say, oh, that's not happening. They hit you all this convoluted language, but they're not getting down to the core of the actual issue, which is the healthcare for illegal aliens. They're not getting down to it. And the reason why they don't really want to talk about that is because if we remove these monies we're talking about, that's going to remove the magnet. See, a lot of people don't want to do things. You know, one thing that I noticed, I think region by region, work is different. In California, I'm going to ask y'all, if you're from California, or matter of fact, I'm gonna ask everybody in the chat, and I think the answers are going to be different depending upon where you grew up. Okay, so let's talk about some of these jobs people do. Construction, fast food, hotels. A lot of these jobs that pay a low amount of money, are they always done by foreign labor? Has that always been like the case? A lot of Central Mexicans, like Guatemalans, Venezuelans, like people that's not American and don't speak English. Because when I was coming up in the hotels, you would see some of them, but also in Virginia, you would see just white folks and black folks working in the hotel. It wasn't really it's just like regular. Back West Virginia, yeah, it's white folks and black folks, not Mexicans, working in the hotel. And working in the restaurant, it was guys like me. Working in the restaurant, that was like considered a black job. Like when I was in the restaurant, we were all black in the back. It wasn't no Mexicans at all. We had some Filipinos, shout out to them, but it was mostly us. And it was fine because, okay, I'm 16, 17 years old. I got my first job. Okay, cool. I'm going to do this for a while. I'm going to go to school, get some skills, get better and get better and get better. It was never a thing where I just would dismiss those entry-level jobs. How can you even do that? You're not being fully prepared for the outside world unless you're really high IQ and high status. Then you're able to go straight to some type of really big thing. If you're just a regular Joe on the street, how are you going to be able to get your foot onto the first rung of employment if you're not able to get those entry-level jobs? Like, y'all let me know what you remember when you were coming up. Or how is it right now? Are these jobs done by foreigners? Are they done by Americans? Rebel Without a Reason said, my mom worked at a hotel most of my childhood. There we go. See, there we go. And it's like that in many parts of the country. You got white folks and black folks working in the hotel. 8-Bit Oni says in LA, it's very normal for illegals to work labor jobs. It's actually hard sometimes to get a well-paying construction job because it's a problem. There we go. Caffeinated Duck says Mexicans are mowing the lawns and banging on those leaf blowers. Yeah. Ron Henderson says, I used to live in California and it wasn't always illegals working in restaurants, hotels. No, it was not like that. That's a new thing. See, that's what I figured. Yeah. But see, the Democrats are trying to tell you, oh, well, look, it's the illegals that do those jobs. You guys want to work those jobs. It's like, since when? Since when? And in certain parts of the country, it's not even like that. It's people that live there, that's been there, who are here legally, that work those jobs, especially young people. AMG said 30 years ago in the Hamptons, New York, they brought in a bunch of young Irish women to work hotels. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Same old Same old wash, taking advantage of the Irish. Same as always, you know. I guess they're a little bit more palatable to have them working in there than the black folks, huh? That's hilarious. That is so funny. And I can make that joke because I am Irish. I got 3% Irish in my blood, so don't nobody hate on me. Hey, if Pocahontas can say that she is native with less than 1% native, I could say I'm Irish with 3% Irish. Fair is fair. How about that? Stan says SNAP is 100 billion annually plus 150 million taxpayers. Yeah, that's quite a bit. All right. C-Phones, I remember teenagers, regular American adults working those jobs. Exactly. 100%. Independent says, yes, here in Central Kentucky and Tennessee, Hispanic is all I ever see in construction, lawn care, roofing. That's crazy. Yeah, out here in Tennessee, you see the Hispanics doing lawn care, but you also see whites and blacks. You see everybody. Everybody does lawn care. Home improvement, roofing. Like my gutter guy is a white guy. You know, I do my whole house. I do everything. I do my lawn maintenance. I do pest control. I do all of that. The one thing I'm not going to do is get on that roof. I could, but I'm not trying to fall and break something. So, hey, the white dude texts me like twice a year. And I be in your neighborhood. You want me to do your gutters? Hey, man, go ahead and knock it out. Send me the Venmo. He be up there taking pictures, clean the gutters, go on his way. White dude from right here. And he get the job done immediately. No problem. So, yeah. Let me see. Monet says, did this black dude just say he's Irish? I'm glad you're enjoying the show, Monet. You've been here the whole hour. Hey, stay the whole show and come back tomorrow, too. Not tomorrow, but come back on Wednesday when we're streaming again. As a matter of fact, Monet, since you're here, my streaming schedule is as follows. I stream Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Instagram. Shout out to the IG people. If you enjoyed that stream, I thank you for being there. Wednesday, I'm right here, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then Saturday, you're right here right now. And I'll be done right around 11. So hopefully you're enjoying the show. But anyway, the issue is Americans need to get back to work, period. And the illegal aliens need to stop being brought in to do these labor jobs that Americans need to do. All right, this is the CEO of United talking about the shutdown. And again, if I didn't say it once before, if I didn't say it twice before, shout out to TSA and air traffic control and everyone in the airline industry, in the air travel industry for staying on during the shutdown if you were affected and keeping the party rocking. Thank you. When I flew out on Sunday, I think I told y'all, I could tell they had the good crew there because yes, it was packed, but the line moved quickly. TSA in Atlanta, the north checkpoint and the south checkpoint both jumping. I went to the north checkpoint first. Now I went to south. I went past south and I saw it. It was kind of crowded. I went to north and I'm like, the south look like it was moving a little bit better, but it was packed. The line was like, but within 15 minutes, I'm at the gate or I'm out of the TSA. It was easy because you get the good crew there. And I think with government, they don't run things efficiently. I think the TSA should be privatized, if not abolished, but definitely privatized. It'd be a lot more efficient. It would be a lot better, and it wouldn't cost as much.
Really thanking the professionals, the air traffic controllers, the folks at the TSA, also the FAA, the people in management. They're working hard. They are keeping the skies safe. They've minimized delays. Fewer than 2% of flights have been delayed so far because of air traffic control shortages. So they've done a great job. But it's putting stress on people. It's not fair to those people. It's also putting stress on the economy. You know, the first couple of weeks this had no impact on the economy, but as every day goes by, the impacts start to grow. And airlines are a pretty good real-time indicator of the economy, and we start to see still minor, but steep booking impact. And you see that happening in the economy. We put the whole economy at risk. And so it's been 30 days. And while I don't have a position on which partisan side and how things should be settled with healthcare, it has been 30 days. I also think it is time to pass a clean CR, use that as the opportunity to get into a room behind closed doors and negotiate hard on the real and substantive issues that the American people want our politicians on both sides of the aisle to solve. But let's get a clean CR and get that negotiation done behind closed doors without the pressure and without putting the American workers and the American economy at risk.
You're great. There we go. So again, that is Scott Kirby, the United Airlines CEO. Okay, hey man, you got to bring the guys running the show out to the front and let everybody know what's going on. So yeah, shout out to him. Did I fly United? I've flown them before. Isn't that where the dude got beat up, the Asian dude? That was just kind of random though. I don't know what his problem was, but anyway, shout out to United and shout out to him. Now, I got to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene had a splash when she came into the game. She was like a regular person coming into government, but I'm not quite sure that I like the direction that she's going. I feel like it's a plant. I feel like she's being told certain things that aren't to the benefit of the Republican Party. And she is going against that which we have been campaigning on. The main thing that we wanted, or the main thing that I wanted, the main thing that a lot of y'all wanted was to address the issue with illegal aliens. But here she is on the podcast talking about, well, don't deport everybody. Don't deport everybody. I know you got some illegals working that are getting paid slave wages. Keep them on. Hey, man, because if the slaves are not there to pick the cotton, what are we to do? That's the energy that I get. That's the thought process. And this is the same exact thing that the left says right now about the illegals. If we don't have the slaves to pick the cotton, what are we going to do?
I've been here in Washington.
All right, let me get a video on the screen. And RIP in advance to the headphone users.
I've been here in Washington all week, and I've been at my office. I've been in the Capitol. There's two things I couldn't find this week. I couldn't find anywhere the Epstein files, and also couldn't find the Republican plan to fix the absolutely destroyed health insurance industry that got wiped out in 2015 with Obamacare.
Okay, this ain't the clip that I was going to play, but I'm going to play it anyway. The whole thing with the Epstein files, I told y'all about that being like a leftist talking point. And when you go to all these quote unquote protests from the left, they all talk about Epstein file, Epstein file, Epstein file, because in their mind, they think that it's going to implicate Trump. The truth is, it ain't really no Epstein files. Anybody that has been implicated already. They already got Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew got kicked out of the royal family over that. Like, there's not like there's been no consequences. Like, there's been no, people have actually suffered as a result of the Epstein stuff. There's nothing else to even really get. It's a wild goose chase, and it's something that's meant to discredit the Republican Party because they want to assign it to Trump. So when you say stuff like that out in public, all you're doing is just helping the left. You're not helping the right at all.
Yeah. Like, those are the two things I can't find. And when Republicans, and I'm criticizing also Congress big time. I'm really grateful to a lot of the things the president is doing, but I'm really upset with the direction Congress is going. But when we are not doing anything to address the cost of living, we aren't doing anything about Blackstone buying up houses where most young people can't find a house and they're having to compete in bidding wars.
Okay, now the thing about cost of living and other things, first of all, you're in Congress. You're a lawmaker. You can draft legislation, correct? Y'all, if I'm wrong, y'all just let me know. Let me know if I'm getting it wrong, let me know in the comments. But don't you have power to do some things yourself rather than just going there at their finger pointing and criticizing? Don't you have power? And as far as BlackRock or whoever buying up property, you know what's happening. Americans are not able to gain employment. They're not able to afford these houses that are on the market. So you got these companies scooping them up so they can rent them to people. People can't afford this $15,000, $20,000 or whatever down payment in cash with no credit. No, you can't put it on the credit card. You can't get a loan. It's got to be straight cash money from your account, wired. And if you do it improperly, if you are not allowed to get a loan to fund it and you do, you could be locked up for that, or you might face a penalty. That's why that's happening. It's because of the economics. And there's also somewhat of a housing shortage, which is making the housing more expensive because there's a higher demand. But the reason why there's a housing shortage is because you got all these illegal aliens. If you import 40 million people in 4 years and you don't build 40 million houses, guess what's going to happen? It's going to be a shortage. If you deport X amount of millions of people, magically, housing becomes available. Magically, a lot of your crime and stuff like that, a lot of your expenses related to these individuals goes down or it goes away magically. That's why the focus should be the migrant crisis. But look, Let me show you what she said about the migrants. All right, hold on. Here is a clip that I wanted. Let me just go ahead and show it now. Then I give you a little bit of background.
As a conservative and as a business owner in the construction industry and as a realist, I can say we have to do something about labor, and that needs to be a smarter plan than just rounding up every single person and deporting them just like that. Right. So, and I'm going to get pushback on that, but I'm just living in reality from here on out.
Yeah.
And if anybody's mad at me for saying the truth, then I'm.
But see, look, the issue with the migrant labor is that it's cheap. That's all, and it's fast. When you prioritize them and you want to like protect them, you're harming Americans who need to be working those jobs. The reason why Americans are not working those jobs as much is because of the pay. Again, they get paid whatever they get paid, often under the table, no taxes, and they get government benefits on top of that. And they send it back to their country of origin. What they make from those jobs, although it'd be the same dollar amount or less than what we would make, is worth a lot more to them. It's unfair. It harms Americans. That's why we want to get everybody up out of here. And it doesn't have to be so quote unquote inhumane or whatever they want to say with the ICE raids. Hey, self-deport. Be giving you money and a flight. $1,000 and the flight. Go ahead. Okay, you've been here since 1995 and you don't want to leave? Now it's time to come get you.
Sorry.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, ladies and gentlemen, our next president. Sorry, JD Vance. Well, I mean, there's people are saying it. I go to dinner parties.
Yeah, I heard you.
Well, by the way,
I heard you on Joe Rogan as a concern.
So what I think about Marjorie Taylor Greene running for president? Okay, what's his Tim? What's his name? Fat teenager at 35. Do you think that he's correct that she could become president? Like, what's your opinion? Y'all let me know. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, I'm gonna move on from Marjorie Taylor Greene, but I just don't like a lot of what she's saying. I think, as I was saying in my video about her, that she is just a Democrat, but the Democratic Party has gone so far to the left that to the majority of the left, she is seen as a MAGA Republican extremist. Okay, that's kind of what's going on. It's just like Fetterman. Fetterman is a Democrat. Fetterman is like a normie Democrat. But because he has these common sense views at times, even through brain damage, he is seen as somehow a MAGA. He's not. I said in my video, he's like a Republican. He's not a Republican. He's not like that at all. He's still a liberal. He's still a Democrat. But just the funny part is that although he has brain damage, he's the least irregular person on that side for the most part. The least irregular. Everybody, yes, irregular. Totally irregular. But anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling. And speaking of Fetterman, let's go ahead and just play him on the government shutdown. All right. Let's go ahead and let it rock.
So what are you hearing back home about SNAP expiring on Saturday?
I'm saying that I will witness it firsthand. My wife, Giselle, she develops the free store in our community, and it distributes food 3 times a week. And her lines have already got longer. And now I will encounter people that have no SNAP benefits starting on Saturday, and I don't have an explanation for them. All I could say is, I'm sorry. It's an absolute failure what occurred here for the last month, and now things are really going to land. And imagine being a parent with a couple kids and how you're going to fill their refrigerator and pack their lunches and get on with their lives when the things that they've depended on now is gone because we can't even agree to just open things up. For a Democrat, we're not allowed to just open this up. I mean, then our party has bigger problems than I thought we might have already. It's like, that's not controversial. Pay everybody. And you have our workers here borrowed over $333 billion to pay their own bills.
So there you go. That is John Fetterman, the Democratic senator from Pennsylvania. He did have a stroke. He did have brain damage, but yet a lot of what he says is not as crazy as a lot of the left. If you had Marjorie Taylor Greene on the left, what she would be saying would make a lot more sense, because you understand, okay, this is a Democrat still. This is a Democrat still, and they want to work with us on certain things. Okay, that's cool. I can respect you being over there, but stay over there and work with us when possible. But when you're over on the Republican side and you behave as a Fetterman or any other Democrat on a lot of the important issues, you just in the way as far as our progress on the Republican Party. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Jasmine Crockett, this is kind of cringe. This is, hold on. Who is this? Is this Jane Fonda? Okay. You got Jane Fonda and Jasmine Crockett. Now, I want to know, what was the meeting like when they said, okay, let's put Jasmine Crockett with Jane Fonda, okay? The soccer moms, do y'all like Jasmine Crockett? Like, is that what's going on? A lot of the leftist Democrat soccer moms, they love them. Jasmine Crockett, they love her sassy attitude. And then Jane Fonda, they can relate to Jane Fonda. So let's put them together. Hey, let's put them together, put them out on social media. It'll be well. It'll do great. Look at this right here. The body language, she's just like uncomfortable. Anyway, let's play it.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and I'm here with Jasmine Crockett, Congresswoman from Texas, and she knows what redistricting, what gerrymandering means. She is so powerful in Congress that the GOP want to get rid of her district in Texas. They've redistricted her house out of her district. We have to vote yes on Prop 50, don't we, Jasmine?
Absolutely. So, November 4th, California, we need you to stand up. You just heard it from the Queen herself, okay? It is time for us to fight fire with fire. Instead of having one hand behind our backs, I need you to show up. This is about our democracy. This isn't about just me being in Texas. It's about our voices. It's about making sure that there is a check on the power that, well, is out of control in D.C. So make sure you vote yes on Prop 50 on November 4th.
Please do it. Yes on Prop 50. Hi.
All righty, there we go. Hey, man, Jasmine, if you want us to come get you, if you want to get rescued, just blink twice for me, all right? Blink twice. Whenever you, listen, I know you're going to hear this. Whenever you out in public and things ain't going right, you're a little uncomfortable, just blink twice, and I'm going to just come try to save you. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Maybe I got to start acting crazy, start screaming and hollering, ah! And then through the commotion, you'll be able to escape where you at. Maybe I'll do that for you, because right there, I mean, good grief. Look at this. Look at the body language. Like, what is that? Cringe. Jasmine. Wow. Hey, that's, I don't got no words for that. But yeah, shout out to her. It couldn't be me, man. You can have me over there. They grabbing up on my neck. Like, look at her. Look at him, man. Nah. Like, I'm a pet monkey. Like, what's going on? But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, here we got Kamala talking about all the stars in the party. So who are the stars? Exactly like Get Out. Thank you, J Flo. Look, J Flo, I know it wasn't just me. J Flo, I know it wasn't just me who saw Get Out with Jasmine Crockett right there. It's like, man, do we have to come save you? Do I got to call my cousin in them? Do I got to call my sister and she come beat this lady up? But anyway, not literally, YouTube snitches. ABL threatened Jane Fonda. Anyway, Kamala with Jon Stewart talking about, we got a lot of stars in our party. So let me ask you guys a question. Who are the stars in the Democratic Party? I think we know who the stars are in the Republican Party. Okay, I think we already know that. Trump, of course, the biggest star. Then you have a JD. You got Vivek, Marco. A lot of guys in the Republican Party have that ability, that star power. Even the Baron, even though he don't even really talk, he's not even in politics. Anybody that's linked to what we got going on is doing very well. But on their side, who do they have?
We have so many stars in our party. There are so many stars. And let's not be afraid of them. You talk about Mamdani. I mean, he's exciting this group of people who otherwise don't think of themselves as being aligned or a part or even seen by the system. You just look at the range of what we have. So many. Jasmine Crockett, who I just talked to recently. I mean, we have so many stars. We have so many stars in our party. There are so many.
So what do y'all think? A lot of stars in the party? Like, who's a star? It ain't them right here. It's not them. Okay, I'm not really sure who the stars are. Y'all let me know.
I think
now here she is on that guy's podcast. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Hey, my man, if you're watching, what's the name? Y'all know what I'm talking. Like, I gotta show him. Is he on here? The light skinned black. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, she's on his podcast talking about lowering the age of voting to 16. What do you think about that? Do you think it's a good idea to lower the age of voting to 16? Let me know in the comments.
I think we should reduce voting age to 16. I'll tell you why. So, Gen Z, their age about 13 through 27. They've only known the climate crisis. They missed substantial parts of their education because of the pandemic. If they're in high school or college, especially in college.
I got to pause for the copyright, so my man don't give me no claim. Let's keep going. Let me start right here.
Especially in college, it is very likely that whatever they've chosen as their major for study may not result in an affordable wage.
How much is an affordable wage? That's my question. And at a certain point, if someone chose a career that's not panning out for them financially, whose fault is that? Also, just because you have schooling in one thing, doesn't mean you can't get more schooling in something else if what you went to school for is not paying the bills. People start new careers all the time. I was watching this video. Well, I didn't watch it, but it was a clip. It was a title where the guy's talking about becoming an apprentice electrician in his 40s. Okay, now that's a crazy age, but he was doing it.
They've coined the term climate anxiety to describe fear of not only being able to buy a home, but that fear will be wiped out by extreme weather, but fear of having children. It is expected that Gen Z will have 10 to 12 jobs in their lifetime. They are a larger number than boomers. They're a specific generation of people who are going to impact our nation and the world. And I think we must invest in them, but I think that they are rightly impatient.
With what? Impatient and what reason? For what reason?
With a lot of what is the tradition of leadership right now. And if they were able to vote because they know everything that's happening right now is going to impact them more than anybody older than them for the most part, in terms of how these systems work. If they're voting right now at 16 and up, they're going to be talking about the importance of climate. They're going to be talking about the importance of figuring out how AI is going to affect.
That's quite enough. Oh my God. Wow. Hey, I couldn't. I'm glad that she did not become the president, because if I had listened to that, hey, if you force me to listen to that for 4 years, I'm going to lose my whole mind. I'm going to flip my entire wig. The 2 marbles that's in here are going to be out of my ears within the first couple of days. I can't. But you get the idea, right? She's saying you should be able to vote at 16 because they experience a climate crisis. Okay, what does that even mean? They experience a climate crisis. So because you said they had a certain experience, they should be able to vote as a result of that. Well, I experienced a crack war. And listen, the things that's happening right now with the violence, any kind of little skirmish or whatnot in the country, any kind of anxiety about civil war, the things that's happening right now are nowhere near the crack war, nor will they get to that point at all. Nothing happening right now would get anywhere close to the crack war. The crack war was a crazy time. All right. But since I experienced that, should I be able to vote at 16? I don't think so. When I was 16, I was not prepared to know how to vote. I'm in school, becoming educated about what's happening in the world. 18, okay, now I'm an adult. If you say you should be able to vote at 16, then you should be able to do pretty much whatever you want to do at 16. You should be an adult at that age, but you're not. So that's that. But here she is. Previously, I'm not sure when this was, probably during her campaign last year, the 100 days or whatever. Here she is saying that young people that age 16 and older are stupid. Now, Kamala, I want to know which one is it. That's what I'm saying. If you say that 16-year-olds should vote, then you also shouldn't say that 16-year-olds are stupid, because if they're stupid, why are they voting?
What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid. That is why we put them in dormitories, and they have a resident assistant. They make really bad decisions. What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid.
So, Kamala, you, out of your own mouth, this ain't no AI video. ABL, that's AI. It's not. It's not. You want to bet money on it? I'll take your whole house and everything you got to your name. But anyway, you said people between the ages of 18 and 24 are stupid. You said they're stupid. But you then later said that if you're 16, you should be able to vote. Which one is it? Why would a stupid person be able to vote? I don't really get it. So, hey, man, listen, I'm glad we don't have her in there. I'm glad we don't have her in there. All right. Now, this is CNN talking about a lot of the errors in the 2020 census are almost always to the benefit of blue states. To the benefit of blue states. The so-called errors, the things that we say, hey, there's an irregularity there. You might want to check that. You might want to audit that. You might want to look at that and see if it's right. Those irregularities and those errors always help blue states to the detriment of red states.
One of the big.
Let's watch.
One of the big things is it helps decide congressional maps.
Right.
Does this have everything to do with redistricting?
Well, it does. In fact, we know the 2020 census, the errors were almost always to the detriment of red states. Blue states like Rhode Island.
Do we know that?
We do know that. The Census Bureau's own audit of its work has proven that. Blue states like Rhode Island were overcounted. Rhode Island then didn't lose a seat. Red states like Alabama were undercounted. Listen, this is just a fact. It wasn't all red-blue, but it was disproportionately red-blue.
Do you think one of the big things is...
There we go. I mean, but we've already known that. We've known that for quite a while. We know that the left, the blue states, they cheat. They got a bunch of stuff going on they shouldn't have. A bunch of illegal aliens, a bunch of people that are on certain Medicaid, any kind of government assistance programs that shouldn't be. A lot of fraud, a lot of all of that going on in these blue states. And that's why we've been saying for a long time, hey, check into that, check into this, and see what's really going on. We've been saying that. Now, this guy is an illegal alien, a DACA recipient, actually. And he's saying that he's going to turn all the DACA stuff in and go back to Mexico, although he's been here pretty much his entire life. All right, let's go ahead, throw him on the screen. Only taxpayers can vote. Well, it should be only citizens voting, but I think that we've seen people who are illegal aliens somehow registered to vote, like that superintendent that got kidnapped, the superintendent that got removed by ICE.
Well, I've made up my mind. I will be turning in my DACA and returning to Mexico. We came to America January 15th, 1996, so almost 30 years. I was a baby, so I have no memories of Mexico, but I think it's time for me to go back. Now, there is a lot of fears and wonderings and what ifs, but I do not want to be captive to this country anymore. I am a homeowner, I'm a teacher, and I'm currently in my master's program. So this is going to take several months to deconstruct 30 years of building a life here. So I graduated in May, and as a teacher, we work through May So by June of 2026, I should be back in Mexico. So again, it's going to be a long process. It's going to take some time, but I have already started working towards that big change. And I'm not doing it out of fear or worry. I am choosing to be with family. I am choosing to be free. I am choosing to travel. And I am choosing to give the good that I have to the country where I come from.
Hey, you know what? I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. You can go to Mexico, be with your family, and any talents, anything that you have to give to them, give to them. I don't feel sorry either because it's been 30 years, bro. Within 30 years of time, I know you were a kid. Let's say you were 6 years old, right? Now you're 36 years old. You've been an adult for a very long time. You've been an adult for longer than 10 years. So where was the effort of trying to become legal as an adult? I want to know that. And that seems to be the case in a lot of these situations. You've been here 30 years, 20 years, and there's never any effort to actually become a citizen. Imagine you do that somewhere else. Go to another country and do that. You can't. Just going to call yourself being there illegally for your whole life and never trying to become a citizen, never trying to get right. Hey, you know what? I'm not mad at you. You can self-deport, okay, and go to Mexico and just live there and you'll be good. If you're talented at what you do, you're a good teacher, then you'll be able to do well over there. Mexico City, something like that, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. And you know what? You got kids here? Okay, well, they're citizens. So then they can just be the first people that's here in America as citizens. And then they can just build from there. And you can come visit, come on a visa, whatever it is. And when it's time to go, you got to go. It'll be the same thing with me. If I had a family in Mexico, right? But I'm not a citizen of Mexico. I couldn't just stay there with no kind of documentation. I couldn't just be like, all right, I'm here now. Anyway, we got somebody getting deported who's been here since 2007 from, I believe, hold on. All right, so, okay. She's been here since 2007 and she's from El Salvador. I forgot that quick. Yeah. From El Salvador. Here since 07. Let's watch.
No, baby, he did me. No! No! No, my daddy! Help me! Help me! I don't know how to let it quit. I have my payment. No! Help me, please! My daddy! She's a human being! No, my daddy!
Look, man, at the end of the day, you've been here since 07. Like, you didn't just get here yesterday. You've been here since 07. It's almost 20 years. At a certain point, you have to try to get yourself legitimized. Okay, as simple as that. And of course, you get the white liberals. Have mercy on her. She all right. She knew it was coming. Listen, we gave people who are here illegally ample opportunity to get their affairs in order. We offered them money, a free flight, any kind of accommodation, just whatever. We're working with you. We're not trying to just come drag you out. If you get dragged out, it's because you refused to just leave when we told you to. And we've been in office for how long? Almost a year. We were telling you last year, it's coming. Go ahead and get everything together. Get your work situation together. Get your house and wherever you got to go in order and then return. Other countries would not give you such luxury. You want to call yourself being there illegally? Look, we're going to come get you tonight. And you could do it the easy way or the hard way. And the hard way, you might not. And if you take the hard way, you might lose your life. But here, we're nice. We're kind of soft. So now you good. You all right. Hey, man, 2007, that's a long time. How old was I? In 2007, I was 23 years old. And you see I got this gray hair and stuff like that. That tells you how long it is. That tells you how long it's been. I was 23 in 07. Now I'm 41. If the time that she's been here was a human being, that human would be going to college. You understand what I'm saying? From birth to going to college. Now we got a little riot in LA, you know, but it's funny because they call these things protests. That's interesting. Let's check it out. Now, why aren't these things being called riots? Because that's what I'm seeing all over the place in LA. People throwing bricks through cars, acting the fool on the street, just doing whatever. And we're seeing this in a lot of different places. It's been going on for quite a while, not just in LA, but in other parts of the country. Some may see this and think civil war or whatever. Now, it's just riots. People acting the fool because they think that they need to. Okay, and especially in California where there's so many illegal aliens, it's like a big piece of the state. And here's something I want to know. If not for all the illegals in California, how many House reps would they have? Because aren't the House reps counted by your population, regardless of immigration status? Y'all let me know if that's incorrect or correct. But isn't that how it's counted? A lot of money, a lot of power is on the line. Not just people wanting to stay here or whatever. It's a lot of money involved. Same thing when you're seeing people that smoke crack for a living on the streets in California. It's not just a drug problem. It's a drug problem, but there's money behind it. There's money in the treatment of these people, so-called treatment. So as long as that money is there, then they'll be there. As long as the money to treat, to quote unquote treat drug addicts is there, then they'll be there, meaning the drug addicts. Now, my man right here says, you know what? I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. I'm about to just leave. I'm tired of everything going on. Okay. Now, y'all let me know if you feel the same way that he feels. Okay.
I fucking hate it here. I hate it here. The levels of cruelty upon cruelty every fucking day. I can't even process it. I hate it here. I hate it here. I would leave if I could. So anybody that says fucking America, love it or leave it. Yeah, I would fucking leave it if I could. My brain is mush from the inescapable cruelty. I fucking...
All right, so first of all, to my man, if you could leave, if you had money, you could just leave, where would you go? What place are you going to go better than the United States of America? What place are you going to go better than the US of A? That's what I want to know. What, Mexico? And how are you going to get there? You're going to go across the border illegally? All right. Good luck with that. Good luck with that, sir. You're not really going to find a better place than here. And what cruelty? Enforcing our laws? We are a nation of, you can't just do whatever you want in this country. We have freedom, yes, but there's always limits to everything. We got freedom in the country, but I can't just go outside and just act a complete fool on the street with no accountability. Neither can you. Well, maybe in LA you could do that. You could just do whatever you want, I suppose. But in the parts of America that function properly, you cannot just do whatever you want. It's not cruelty. It's called enforcing laws. And the thing about it, enforcing the laws are what keeps, enforcing the law is what keeps the United States as a desirable place to be. The more we don't enforce laws, the more we just let stuff go on, we're going to become a less and less desirable place, a less and less productive place, therefore a less and less successful place. We can be just like Europe being taken over by Afghanistan and whatnot. We'll be just like them. And once that happens, ain't no more Europe, ain't no more America, ain't no more West. It's all over with. So you should think about trying to preserve this country rather than hating it for enforcing the laws that are meant to preserve the country. Hold on. Ron Jones says Ukraine would take him. It looks like fodder. Exactly. See, it'd be that kind of guy that'll say, you know what? I want communism. All right. we got communism. Now you're going to get drafted and you're going to be on the front lines. You know, no training. Hey, man, I don't know what to tell you. Take this rifle and figure it out. He going to get shot right away. Cannon fodder right in the front. That's how that works. All right. So New York City, they're spending 65 million US American dollars on a trans only shelter. Residents get yoga classes, culinary classes, and are loved up on. What does that mean?
Why is New York City spending?
Let me put it on the screen. Hey, Eric Adams, is this a Eric Adams deal? I hope not, bro. Come on, man. You're going out all the way sad, but let's watch.
Why is New York City spending over $65 million on a trans-only homeless shelter whose residents get yoga classes, culinary classes, and are loved up on? Ace's Place is the first fully taxpayer-funded shelter to only house transgender and gender non-conforming people. It's right here in Long Island City, and I wish I could show you, but it's on a list of protected sites. So despite repeated calls, texts, and emails, the city refused to tell me where it's at. One study found a third of transgender people report being homeless at some point in their lives. But why does a shelter for them have to cost over $433,000 per bed? Well, in 2021, as part of a settlement with a trans activist named Mariah Lopez, the city was required to provide at least 30 beds to trans and gender nonconforming residents.
Okay, so they got sued into it because they like to play legal games. They love going to court. They love going to court and playing that game. Okay, I get it. But still, man, I don't know what kind of judge allowed that to happen. I ain't giving y'all no kind of shelter. What's the actual lawsuit anyway? We'll figure it out, I suppose.
Lopez, who is the executive director of the Strategic Transgender Alliance for Radical Reform, filed multiple complaints against the New York City Department of Homeless Services in 2017.
See, didn't I say that? And this is my very first time watching it, but I know how they do. They play court games. You file multiple complaints trying to get something to crack. You're part of this organization, and the purpose is to siphon off with the resources of the United States for your own purposes. Okay, well, I want to be given free housing just for me and my transgender peoples. I'm going to go to the court, file a bunch of complaints, and one of them is going to actually hit. It's like going fishing. You're throwing out you're throwing out bait, you're throwing out lure, and you snag. That's what happened here.
They included discrimination over accommodation of Lopez's service animal, sexual harassment, assault, and retaliation based on Lopez's transgender status. But this isn't Lopez's first lawsuit. In 2007, they sued the city for being diagnosed with gender dysphoria as a minor while in state custody and successfully won taxpayer-funded gender reassignment surgery. But now Mariah Lopez personally gets to review and provide feedback on the state's non-discrimination policy. And the city must issue Lopez a report every 6 months with data on the shelter names, locations, and number of people housed in transgender shelters.
Ain't no way. I wish, look, if I was in charge of this whole thing, if I was a judge, if you were in my courtroom, like with this, get out right now. Bailiff, come get him. Hey, nah, we're not doing that. We are not doing that. I don't know how they were able to do that, but that's what they do. They play court games. That's what the left does in general. They're litigious. They go to court, and that's what they did with Trump and everybody else. Taking them to court, exhausting resources, trying to get money, trying to get a settlement. People like that I hate. And you know the worst people I hate? People like that I know in real life, where they will antagonize you and get you to do something to them, get you to crash out. Once you beat them up, after they antagonize you to beat them up, what they're going to do is start filing lawsuits. It won't even be about trying to get you locked up. It'll be about trying to sue you so they can get some money because they're broke and all they know how to do is go to court and try to steal money that way through the system. I hate people like that. So yeah, that's why the Transformers got their own housing, because someone was able to abuse the legal system to work in their favor, right? All right. Now, speaking of they, thems, this right here would be the kind of people who are in that Transformer shelter. And shout out to one of the best journalists on the internet. Shout out to, she got me stuttering. Shout out to one of the best journalists on the interwebs, Savannah Hernandez.
And for some of the kids who maybe saw some nudity here, maybe saw some twerking, what do you think about that?
Sometimes when you grow up, you see some nudity. Do you understand that? It helps you to understand who you are. Sometimes you're going to see some twerking. As it stands, twerking is an African dance. It comes from African dances. That was not a sexualized thing until we made it a sexualized thing. So as far as the children seeing it, they're going to have questions about it regardless, because parental censors are ineffective. So it being around is just a part of life. And if you are incapable as a parent to explain it to your children, you have to do a little bit of work with yourself. Because all of these things are not just going to be around, they are around and they're also going to be amplified.
And for some of the kids
Okay, so there's a lot I want to say. First of all, the things he's talking about, the LGBT stuff, the pride events where you get open, inappropriate acts happening in front of children should not be allowed because there are laws against public indecency, nudity, things of that nature for a reason. The same way there's laws against indecency and whatnot on television. If you have an FCC license, you cannot ever show anything like that on the airwaves because the government knows that television can be used as a destructive thing to people in certain communities of the country who should not be exposed to it. And it should be the same thing for children. You should not be allowed to do sex acts in public because, number one, I don't want to see that. And also, I don't know, I guess New York is different, but if you are caught in public doing some kind of sex act, you are a sex offender. You become part of the registry for doing something like that. So, I mean, all you people that want to do little extra stuff, okay, when you get caught, because if I see you, I'm calling the police. Okay, I'm not going to record you. I don't want to see that. I'm good. I'm going to call the police immediately. And I'm going to say, hey, this dude out here in a cat outfit is this dude out here with a cat outfit is doing something crazy to this man. Please come get him, okay? They driving a red Honda Civic. License plate is 123 ABC. Come get him right now. And when you get caught, you're going to be a sex offender and you're going to be put on the list and they're going to see your address where you live at. And it's like that for a reason because we don't want to be poisoned with your filth. You can do whatever you want to do, but you don't got to do it in public. Do that behind closed doors. We don't need to see your filth. Hey, I ain't going to record nothing. Whatever y'all got going on, you in the furries or whatever, you knock yourself out. I ain't recording a thing. Okay. Rebel Without a Reason says, not at a pride parade, cops are there and they say they are exempt. Yeah, because you know the thing about the LGBTs, they are exempt from these laws in certain places because the police know that's not just how they are. That's just what they do anyway. They're just super freaked out like that, and that's just what they're going to do. But it shouldn't really be accepted like that. It should be still controlled. I don't care how you identify. You still have a responsibility to be decent in public in front of other human beings who don't want to see you like that. But anyway, we got some stealing going on because of the EBT stuff. And I'm not even really sure if it actually hit yet, if like people's checks or whatever didn't come in. I don't even know. Certain parts of the country, they got ways to pay for it. In Virginia, I think they were able to pay for it on the state level, at least for now. So I don't know what every state is doing, but I don't think it is time to start stealing right now. It shouldn't ever be, but you can't at this point, especially use the excuse of I got desperate. No, you didn't. You did not get desperate. You just got dumb.
Cell phone video.
And even if you do get desperate, what you want me to do? Stealing is never going to be okay.
Video shows two women berating.
Let me start from the top.
Cell phone video shows two women berating and attacking workers Sunday evening as stunned shoppers stare in disbelief.
That's crazy. Oh, nah.
Others watching the combative confrontation can't understand it.
I'm speechless because doesn't matter the reason, is not supposed to act like that.
Investigators say the women deliberately slipped higher-priced food like lobster, ribeye steaks, and truffle butter in blue bags while they were checking out. And police say when workers confronted them about not paying for the items, the women started attacking them and yelling racial slurs.
People are shoplifting. They're getting beat up for trying to stop the people. That's not fair to them. I mean, it's really messed up.
Police arrested Olivia and Regine Bird in the parking lot. The sisters are now facing charges, including assault and battery. Other shoppers say they have sympathy for the workers who are dedicated to their job. Cell phone video.
There's a lot. Let's go to the mugshot, shall we? All right. Do you think they are starving for food? Yay or nay? I'm just asking. Do you think they're starving for food? First. Second, if they are starving for food, then why are they still in truffle butter and lobster and stuff like that? I don't even eat like that at my house. Lobster? I don't know when the last time I had lobster. It's expensive. Why would I eat that just like on an everyday basis? I mean, I don't really understand. Truffle butter? What is that even? I've heard about that, but what is it really? You're just stealing just to steal. No real reason to steal. Okay? Like, what is the... So when people say, oh, people are stealing because they desperate for what? Desperate for a night on the town, a luxury dinner. I don't understand what's really going on. Anyway. Southern California says, you know what? We got to increase police presence because some of y'all want to steal, and we're not going to have that happen. All right. Hopefully, they're able to enforce the law out there, because I know how California is, but let's watch.
One SoCal Police Department says it will be stepping up patrols at grocery stores as millions are expected to miss out on next month's food stamps because of the government shutdown.
Local leaders are now scrambling to provide people with resources. Eyewitness News reporter Madison Wild live in Burbank with the resources that will soon be available.
John, Rachel, it's day 29 of the government shutdown, and a lot of families are anxious about how they're going to put food on the table if they lose their SNAP benefits. We know that about 1.5 million people here in Los Angeles depend on those benefits, and more than 5 million people statewide. If the government shutdown continues, those benefits could run out by this Saturday, November 1st. New this week, President Trump has signaled his administration may find a solution to help fund SNAP, saying, quote, "We're going to get this done." However, the president hasn't provided details on how. His administration has blamed the shutdown and the potential loss of food assistance benefits on Senate Democrats. Democratic leadership pushing back.
The president has the ability to use a contingency fund for SNAP and food benefits, but they have decided instead of using that fund, they're just going to try to inflict as much pain as possible.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's kind of a long video, but you get the idea what's going on. Listen, the funding is not for the actual food stamps. The funding is for something else. You want to just reappropriate things for the food stamps. Now, that funding could be used for 2 weeks of funding the program. Then we're at the end of the 2 weeks, you're going to be in the very same place. What's the point of spending that money right now when you're going to be in the very same place in 2 weeks? It makes no sense. Let's just get this solved. And the way to solve it is by stop allowing the illegal aliens to get health care. Now, this video right here was really good. This video, the next video, she makes a great point. The point she's going to make is about the government. If you rely upon the government for your sustenance to survive, what do you do when they cut it off? Just as easily as they were able to turn the benefits on, they turn it off.
So now
All right, let's watch.
So now you see how easy it is for the government to starve you when you rely on them to feed you. So no one in New York City who is panicking about losing their government-funded SNAP benefits is going to vote for the communist mayor who's running on government-funded grocery stores, because now you see how easy it is to turn that off. And then your family starves and your children starve, and you would never vote for that, right? Right? You're gonna vote for it. So now
Exactly. Look, that is a problem. If the government takes care of you, if they give you everything, they could take away everything. And what are you going to do? They can also change the terms on you. They could change rules of the game. Okay, look, you've been on food stamps for a while, but check it out. Starting next month, if you're not working at least 20 hours, if you are not volunteering at least 20 hours or going to school 20 hours, you cannot receive those benefits. So now the government has made you do something that you weren't doing before. Some are going to be upset by that, but you are the one asking the government to give you something. If you don't want that kind of control, then work for yourself, make your own money, and don't rely upon the government. And when you have communism, it'll be the same exact way. You're relying upon them to give you things, and then when it fails, when they're not able to do it, when they stop doing it, now you just out of luck. You just out of luck. So hey, it is what it is. Yeah, the government control, I'm not into that. Now some say, well, the government shouldn't be controlling. Well, how are you going to be entitled to these things from the government and then try to control the government on how they give it to you? That's not the way that works. If you're reaching out to them to get something, they're going to dictate the terms. You can agree or disagree. And if you disagree, go out there and work, make money that way. That's it. Or you know what you could do? Try to go somewhere else, a different part of the world, and see if they're going to take you and just pay for everything. Hey, go to Mexico and see if you could just get on government benefits and do nothing. You could just sit in your hind parts all day, no work, no nothing, and just eat. All right, see how that works. Hey, go over there and report back. See how that turns out. Okay. The government shutdown, exactly. WFA says government shutdown is not affecting me at all. Same. It's just life as normal. Okay. Now, I know we got some government employees, TSA, etc. Shout out to y'all. But I'm not, since I've been young, self-employed for the past 20 years. So I'm good. I'm straight. Before YouTube even was a thing at all, I've been self-employed, and I'm going to remain that way. Let's check this out. Oh, here's a good one. About the aid. Hold on. Make sure I'm saying the right thing. So Trump got impeached for withholding aid to Ukraine in part, but the Democrats who impeached him see no issue with them withholding aid to Americans. Okay, let's watch.
It's kind of funny to me that Democrats impeached Trump for withholding aid from Ukraine, and they're expecting no backlash for withholding aid from Americans. It's literally anybody but Americans to them.
Exactly. Make that make sense. You see, this is what I'm talking about. I'm all about America first. Americans. Let's do what's right for Americans before foreign countries. Let's do what's right for Americans before illegal aliens. I put a foreign place, a foreign country on the same level as illegal aliens. That's the way I look at it. They are not us. Because at the end of the day, if it all falls apart, they're going to go back home. We're at home. So what are we going to do for ourselves right here in America? What will our government do for us in America? Now, I'm not trying to say the government should be providing everything, but if there are people that need aid in this country and in a legitimate way, elderly, disabled, or whatever, why wouldn't we make them be our top priority rather than the foreign country, rather than illegal aliens? I'm just saying, make it make sense. Please, please, please make it make sense. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, I got another good one. Some people say that this is Trump's fault. Oh, it's the Trump shutdown, Trump this and Trump that, orange man bad. How are you going to blame Trump when this is a matter of Congress? Trump can actually not do anything. It's Congress that must act.
President.
All right, let's throw this on the screen right quick and shout out to her. And RIP in advance to the headphone users.
President Trump has no authority to fund SNAP benefits, federal employees, or the military at this point. This is the responsibility of the legislative branch, which is Congress, House of Representatives, and Senators. It is illegal for President Trump to step in because of the Anti-Deficiency Act. The act clearly states no spending or commitments without Congress approval. The Democrats are lying through their teeth, and they're causing confusion because people do not know how the government works. The One Big Beautiful Bill passed July 4th of 2025. Whether you like it or not, you need to get it through your skull. Anything related to this healthcare business, it's done. It already passed. So the Democratic senators are playing a very dirty game. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they are intentionally holding the American people hostage. All the Democrats have to do is vote yes. 7 people need to vote yes. That's it.
There we go. Say, she broke it down perfectly. She broke that down perfectly. That's what's going on. Now, you'll see Democrats on TV saying something else, but the reality is what she said, 100% on point. So, yeah, shout out to her. Shout out to her. It ain't Orange Man bad. It ain't the Orange Man's fault. Talk to Congress. Republicans, they with it. All we got to get is 7 of them on their side to say, all right, go ahead. And then the spigot gets turned back on. But until then, it's shut. It's closed. It's their fault, not our fault. Here's a good one. Hey, if you're physically able enough to go out there and be thugging and drugging, you are physically able enough to get a job and not rely on government benefits. Let me throw it on the screen right quick, and here we go.
Unpopular opinion. If you're physically able and willing enough to commit a felony, you shouldn't be on benefits. Hold on, I don't think they heard me. If you're physically able and willing enough to commit a felony, you don't need to be on government benefits. What you need to do is get a fucking job. I mean, y'all been stealing. Even the ones who already get these assistance still pack shit into their carts and steal it at self-checkout. But now people are literally waiting in the parking lot for people to show up to their vehicles with groceries, and then they ambush them there and steal their groceries. But these grocery stores are always hiring, so if you're strong enough to steal from one basket to put into your basket, you are healthy and fit enough to be the one at the register, cashing, scanning, sliding that grocery as a job. You get what I'm saying? And there's a lot more things you could do, because obviously you're able-bodied enough. Because you're able-bodied enough to steal and even get into a fist fight if it gets that far. You don't need to be on benefits, Bubba. Or Mama. You know what I'm saying?
Right on point. Hey, that right there is a man after my own heart. I felt every word of that, 100%. Why spend so much energy on doing the wrong thing when you could just do the right thing? You could actually go get it, just work right there. Rather than thugging and drugging, victimizing people, stealing, how about get a job? How about get a better job? How about get education? How about get skills? How about be in this society and be productive? What's wrong with that? What is wrong with being in society as a productive member of it? What's the problem? So yeah, shout out to my man right there. Hey, I felt that 100%. With every fiber of my being, I felt that. 100. All right, we got some more. Hey, you know what? A lot of the reactions to the whole food stamp thing have been heartwarming, very heartwarming, because people, they know that a lot of the thieves, the thugs out here just acting the fool, they don't want anything to do with them. Okay, and at this point, it's not so much black and white, Puerto Rican candy stripe. It's about good versus evil. Either you're going to be a thief or you're not going to be a thief. It ain't really no in between. It is what it is. All right, but go ahead. Let's go ahead and watch this.
You're the one living the luxury life, no job, still getting paid. See, you think this is because we don't care, but really this is because you don't care. Because that's not free money. That's my money. My nails aren't done and yours are. I'm not selfish for wanting more of my money to go to me. I work, I budget, I sacrifice, I skip luxuries so my family's needs are met. See, conservatives weren't sitting around in a seance, okay, begging for people to lose their benefits. You think we get some weird satisfaction out of people losing them. But that's not what this is, okay? This is out of all of our control, but you get evidence of where other people's money is going, and you're not thinking, oh, I need to start looking for a job. It's messed up that it's other people's money. No, you're thinking I need to start looting, stealing, and burning. You don't care that some of us are out here grinding while others are finessing the system and then throwing tantrums where the money stops. This is because you don't care. Your reaction.
Right on. Hey, I love it. I like it. I love it. I want more of it. Shout out to McGraw. That was perfect. Right on. Look, the people who work do not like those who want to steal and do nothing and then act like they are entitled to the fruits of our labor. I was the one out there working hard. I was the one out there picking the crops. I was the one out there educating myself, becoming better, sleepless nights, blood, sweat, tears. I was the one who made myself be to where I am today. I'm able to make money and take care of myself. I got to pay the IRS all the money in the world at gunpoint, or I'm going to get locked up. So you can sit in your hind parts and do nothing and then have the audacity to steal? For real? That's crazy. No, I don't care nothing about anybody that's in a situation. You want to be able-bodied, not working, stealing. Hey, man, you should go to the penitentiary to make big rocks little. And I'm going to call the cops. You know, I got the cops. Hey, the cops on speed dial. Yo, this dude over here, he's stealing. He stole a pack of Starburst and a gummy bear. One gummy bear, singular, out the pack. Come get him. And the thing about it is, people say, you know what? These corporations worth millions of dollars, billions of dollars. So what if we steal? You don't understand that a particular store in your area has a thing called, I don't know, a profit margin. And if you keep stealing and everybody keeps stealing, the profit margin will pretty much be nothing. They'll be making $0 or they'll be losing money. Why would a corporation want a store that's losing money? Of what benefit is that to them? You see, a store is not just for the benefit of the community. It needs to be something that helps both sides. All right. The government, pardon me, the private company needs to benefit because they put the store there, they put the money up, they put the products in there, they want to make money. That's how they benefit. You benefit by having a store that's close to you where you're able to get certain items for a good price or whatever the case may be. Okay? There needs to be a mutually beneficial situation. If it's not that, they're going to be out and you can talk about some of the food desert. Oh, we don't have no store no more. Where's the store? Well, y'all kept stealing from it every day, all day. They didn't make any money and they closed. That's just the reality. And if you want to go down to the good areas to steal, they're going to be on you like white on rice because you're not from around there no way. They're going to profile you and you will get arrested and you won't get a slap on the wrist going out to these better areas acting the fool like that. Now this woman right here is who we just heard about from the other woman who's not like this. You see how we got differences in the community between those who want to do right and those who don't.
Now she mad because I stole noodles and paper plates, talking about if I don't make it on my stuff. Bitch, we in a line. They talking about, oh, we can't ring nobody up to who? Oh, what the fuck out of here. Come on, stop playing. Now she mad because I stole noodles and paper plates, talking about.
Why would you steal that? Noodles, paper plates. Why would you steal that? It's unnecessary. Like, you could have easily just gone to a food bank and got some real food for free rather than stealing this stuff from a Dollar General. And why would you get noodles for a paper plate? Shouldn't that go in the bowl? We're not even using our brain at all. It's just senseless stealing for no reason. Are you going to eat some oodles and noodles? Wait, y'all call that ramen? Are you going to eat ramen on a paper plate? Is that how that works? Or are you going to put it in the bowl? Can't you get a thing that's more nutritious than that at a food bank that's probably right close to where you at? See, people talk about a food desert and ain't no healthy food. People don't want to go to the place where they're able to get the healthy food. They rather just steal random, ridiculous items and eat that. All right. Now, this young lady talking about the sacrifices you make while you're not getting the benefits. You got to make sacrifices, and you can't just take like the other lady did. You can't just take. You got to make sacrifices.
Y'all upset about not getting your EBT? How do you think us folks feel about the grocery store prices when we actually have to pay for our groceries? Why do you think our nails aren't done, our toes ain't done, eyebrows ain't waxed? Because we have to make sacrifices. Welcome to reality, people.
It's called reality, and that is the best way to put it. People nowadays, I feel like there's a lot of entitlement. People think that they should graduate from college and go out there and buy a house like right away. Like that's the easy thing to do. Oh, Americans can't buy houses. Okay, when do you want to buy your house? And if you want to be a homeowner, what do you do for a living? What's your income like? What's your savings like? What are your spending habits like? That's what I want to know. Do you have a drug addiction? Do you have alcohol addiction? Are you more interested in getting your nails done, hair done, everything did? Is that of more importance? Or are you trying to really work toward a certain goal to get to the point of being able to own a house? Like, what are we doing? Are you more interested in consumerism rather than trying to save up, rather than trying to build up to the point where you're able to be a homeowner? It's a mindset that is not present in a lot of people. Those who have the mindset are often more successful. Those who don't often want to take from those who are. And those who are of the mindset where we say we want to work and be successful, we don't want to have our hard-earned monies and the fruits of our labor taken from us. We don't want that. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. I've not seen this, but I'm going to see it with y'all. A woman is going to go to the food bank and show you what she got. Are you ready? Let's go ahead and get into it. RIP to the headphone users. Let me go ahead and get it right here. And let's start from the top.
I'm 52nd in the food bank line. Let's see how long it takes and what we're given. This is a drive-through pickup. Everybody stays in their car. Thankfully, in Florida, it's only 82 degrees today, which is the coolest it's been in a while. So everyone has their cars off and their windows rolled down. This food bank started right on time. Cars started moving at exactly 5 o'clock. You can already see the first cars getting food. This pickup can handle 2 cars at a time, making it really fast. It's only been 6 minutes and everything is moving very quickly. And after only 10 minutes, we're practically at the front of the line. Here's where they're handing out the food. I got to the pickup 20 minutes early, a 15-minute wait, and a 5-minute commute each way for a total of 45 minutes. Let's go inside and see what we got. I'm home and we got all kinds of food, including some mush overnight oats, all kinds of oatmeal, ricotta and Monterey Jack cheese, a dairy-free cheese, a dozen eggs, 2% milk, almond breeze chocolate milk, mac and cheese bites, 12 hummus singles from Whole Foods, Kava spicy hummus, 3 cold brew coffees, a sauce, 3 packs of chicken, a turkey breast. This is 5 pounds of plant-based meat, 2 types of pasta noodles, some rice, canned fruits, vegetables, tomatoes, beans, soup, tuna fish, macaroni and cheese, and jelly.
All that from a food bank. Now, I'm going to ask y'all, are you able to get all that at a grocery store where you go there? See what we're talking about? See, working people often can't do that, but you go into a food bank and your nice car, your AC, whatever you got going on, and you able to get all that, and then get the nerve talk about some, oh, if SNAP gets cut off, we're going to steal. Excuse me? Excuse me? You're already giving everything. You already have everything for free. Why must you go steal now? You're able to get all this stuff, eggs, chocolate, almond milk, vegetarian options, all of that at a food bank for free in your car. Hey, just drive up, we put it in your trunk, and adios. Okay? Out there in Florida. Now, my question would be, how often can they do that? Probably once a week, maybe even more. That's easily $300, $250, like y'all said. It's quite a bit of money for free. And there was car after car after car after car in that line. Yeah, and y'all know me. I'm super I'm a monk, basically. So this stuff right here, I would never eat. I wouldn't eat any of that except for the chicken, maybe. And I really probably wouldn't eat that. I eat chicken if, I go to like Chipotle or something, but I'm a fish guy. I like to cook fresh fish. I don't really like my meat that I would eat pretty much every day is fresh fish. And I feel like my body appreciates that because it's easy. It's an easy meat to digest. It doesn't hurt my stomach. If I'm eating ground beef and stuff like that, it's harder to digest. Any kind of land animal that's raised, especially in the USA, Whether they say organic, grass-fed, all the same. Any kind of land animal is often difficult. Chicken is better, but any kind of pork, beef, okay. But look, you got chocolate milk, hummus. Hummus, really? Hey, a lot of y'all probably never had hummus before. Don't even know how it tastes, and they get it for free. Mac and cheese bites, that looks disgusting. That looks like Velveeta, processed food. A lot of processed food. The only food here really is the chicken, and that's it. Did they get a turkey? Hold on, they got a turkey too?
This is
Hold on.
us. 3 packs of chicken, a turkey breast. This is 5 pounds of plant-based meat.
Yeah, and y'all gotta not eat the plant-based meat. That's not a thing. Plant-based, that's an oxymoron. Plant-based meat. That's not how that works. What you have are a bunch of carbohydrates that are concocted in a laboratory to resemble the texture of meat, but it's not meat. You might as well, I mean, for real, shout out to the plant-based guys, the vegan guys. I've had all kind of diets. Now I'm about to talk about food because I know how I be. I'm like super onto that. But listen, I've had a lot of different diets. I've been vegetarian, strictly vegetarian, no meat at all. I've been eating just junk food. I've been having a more balanced diet. And the key is having a balanced diet. Too much of anything is going to be bad for you. Give your body all your nutrients that it needs. And you need to have nutrients from whole food, one ingredient. That's why I eat the way I eat. All this stuff right here is just, it's not really food. The only food that's there is the chicken and maybe the turkey. But all this canned stuff, canned beans. Did they have boxed rice? Where's the rice at? Okay. I don't even know. I think they got like, what is this? I don't know. I don't even see the rice. The rice should just be in the regular bag. You should be able to see the individual grains. If you got rice in the box or a cup, that's not really what you want. But anyway. But yeah, my diet is the best diet. I do eat eggs. The eggs, that's right. The real food, the eggs. I eat eggs, but I like a hard-boiled egg. Give me a hard-boiled egg. What I got from Buc-ee's recently, I got some pickled quail eggs. Hey, if you go to Buc-ee's, you probably didn't seen that and looked at it and thought about it. The pickled quail eggs, go hard. Get them. They are delicious. Oh, my goodness. My. Yeah, give me a hard-boiled egg. I'm good money. Sunny side up, all of that is disgusting. I can't do nothing with it. Phoenix says all that food there is much better than junk food. Well, I mean, I'll give you that. It's not cookies and cakes and ice cream, but it's still a bunch of stuff that I probably wouldn't eat. Hard-boiled eggs and noodles are always the best. I've not had that, Paulo Hernandez. I got to try it. I definitely got to try that. Hard-boiled egg with noodles. I've not had that. That's right, Runner's High. Balanced diet is the best way to get all the nutrients. You don't want to be too much one way or the other. All right. Well, let's keep going here. This woman says, hold on, matter of fact, am I going to play this one? Yeah, I'm going to play this one right here. Let's play this. I'm sorry, but you already can see what's going on. But let me just go ahead and play it. As I know they say, do not judge a book by its cover. But sometimes, you know.
So you think the food stamps thing isn't a problem. But my nephew, my brother may struggle to feed my nephew if they don't get food stamps. Even if WIC comes through. That's enough for my nephew. What is my brother supposed to do? Or his wife? Or their roommate? Or their roommate's son? What is my family supposed to do? My mom, who's on disability because she had a stroke and she can hardly get around, and can't work a job, like a full-time job, has been door dashing to put money back in the bank to prepare for November, since we most likely won't be getting food stamps. Yet it's not a problem to you people. My mother's going out and putting herself in pain, but it's not a problem. All
right, so I'm not sure where the food stamp money is going. where is the food stamp money going? If it's being spent on food, I think a cut or reduction, it wouldn't hurt. It's actually okay. I think you're not going to starve. All right. I think we are a long way away from starving. You'll be just fine. I think you're able to weather the storm for a little while. What, a week or two? You'll be good. Don't worry about it. I promise. And I know it's a food bank somewhere. Listen, you're going to be just fine. All right. I have a hunch that you'll be okay. You can weather the storm, quite literally. All right. So there we go. You kind of see what's going on. All right. Now, Adam Carolla made a point on Dr. Drew's show about the average weight of the average food stamp recipient. Now, I don't know if he's correct as far as his number. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But I want to ask you guys, what do you think the average weight of a SNAP recipient is? What's the average weight of a food stamp, aka SNAP program recipient? Y'all let me know. Because there is a number, and I think you might be able to guess it if you do. Again, this is going to be Adam Carolla, so don't take my word for it. Ask him if he's correct.
You took the average person that's on SNAP getting free food, and the average person that gets no free food from the government, the average female who gets no free food from the government is 146 pounds. The average SNAP recipient is 211 pounds. So is it a food? I know. First off, we talk about going hungry. Nobody could benefit from a nice fast more than the SNAP recipient. You took the
100%. 100%. And you could fast for real. I've done a 3-day fast, no food, and it was great. It was fantastic. Now, I don't weigh as much as some of these SNAP people. I'm like right at 211, but I'm also 6'3". Some of them are like the women, because that was the weight for the women, not the men. Some of these women are like 5 foot even and 211 pounds. Okay, butterball at best, a turkey shape at best on food stamps. So you know what? If for some reason the EBT card did not get refreshed on time and they can't go to Wally World and just eat whatever they want, that might be a good thing. That might be great for their health. Okay, they don't eat for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days. They'll feel better and they're going to look better. And you know what? What they might want to do is keep it going and keep up a better lifestyle. But since they've been pacified with being able to get food all the time, they're used to constantly eating. It's like feeding all the time. It's like a dog that overfeeds. You got one of the little bowls with the spikes in it so it won't overfeed itself. That's how some of these human beings are, because they've been trained to be that way since they've been young. So yeah, shout out to Dr. Drew, Adam Carolla. Yeah, definitely big homies from way back in the day. Okay. Let me see. Natelli says it's unnatural to have constant over access to food, especially junk foods. Exactly. It's not natural because back in the day, you would just try to eat something to sustain yourself, and you're trying to get food that'll last you until, you didn't have access to so much food. And when you did, you were trying to save it. Back in the day, they would do some canning, and people still can food like West Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky. They still can food up in the mountain. So what they'll do, they will grow food and put it in cans to preserve it. So it'll last them through a time where they don't have food. That's how that works. Rather than, trying to rely upon a check and using that money to go buy it, they will actually have to produce it themselves and save it. So during that time, there wasn't so many big bags going on. That's how Dolly Parton grew up. Dolly Parton grew up with them canning food and very, very poor. I think we have become too spoiled nowadays with this access to food that we have. We've become spoiled. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that'll help me out. tremendously. Francis says fasting is king. I ain't gonna pronounce that right. Autophagy is amazing. Autophagy is amazing. All right, let's keep on going. I have a little bit more, and then I'm gonna just keep rocking. All right, hold on. Where do I want to go? Oh, we got a couple of street interviews I want to show. Just a couple here. All right, let's show this one. Yeah, this is gonna be a pretty good one. I got a few of these, then I'm gonna just keep on rocking because the time that already got away from me, and I do want to do calls in a minute. I feel like I just sat down. That's crazy. Let me just go ahead and play this one. Now, this is in Canada. All right, shout out to the Canadians. This man is attempting to get an interview from this individual and the young lady. Let's see what he gets.
Excuse me. Would you be open to do a 1-minute interview with us, just sharing your thoughts on Canada? How you feel about it? Are you proud to be a Canadian? Not really interested in giving you. Awesome. Sorry. Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good one.
Now, Canada, what's going on? Is this the state of the Canadian? I hope not. Shout out to the Canadians. I don't want to see any of my Canadian people or anybody else attached to some type of dog collar. I don't know what this is. Like, what is this? Are we men in 2025 or are we mice? What is really going on? See, people like that are going to be the ones who call you a Nazi online. That's them right there. This guy right here, when he's in your DMs calling you the N-word, the full word with the R on it, yes, that's him. That's him. So whenever I get that, whenever I hear that on the internet, I already know how they look. Whenever I get online racism, online abuse, I think of them. That's who I think about. I'm not saying they did it, specifically them, but people who look just like them. If it ain't him, it's his twin brother. If it ain't her, it's her twin sister. But yeah, shout out to them out there in Canada. That kind of person you don't really want to be around. All right, I'm going to show this one. Would you ever live in the Muslim country is the question. Would you ever live in a Muslim country? All right, let's watch.
Would you ever live in a Muslim country?
I have. Yeah. It's been a wonderful experience.
Which country?
Pakistan.
Well, even countries that have Sharia law instituted?
I would. I am Muslim, so obeying Sharia isn't that different for me. I do it anyway, even though it isn't like a U.S. law requirement.
Yeah.
So I fully would live in a Muslim country.
Do you think that Sharia law would be better in the U.S. than the current U.S. law?
I personally do think that the place would benefit from it as a Muslim.
Would you ever live in a...
How about y'all? Do you guys want Sharia law here? Would that be a good thing in the United States? Listen, if someone wants to be Muslim, that's fine. Go ahead and knock yourself out. But when you're talking about Sharia law in the USA, I think not. If you want to do that in Pakistan, all right, knock yourself out. Okay, it's your country. Do what you will. Over here, nah, we're not going to be able to do that. How about y'all? Do you think Sharia law would be beneficial to the USA? Y'all let me know. Let me know in the comments if that would be a good thing for you. All right, so hold on. I got to play this, and I'm not trying to promote crack smoking. Y'all know me. I'm talking about, if you smoke crack all day, you just like the worst of the worst. What I want to know is, why am I seeing so much content that appears to be promoting crack smoking? Hunter Biden, they try to make him be normalized. Was it not George Clooney? What's the guy? Emilio Estevez's son. What's his name? Is it Clooney? That's not Clooney. Oh, hold on. I gotta look him up. Carlos Estevez. What's his stage name? Charlie Sheen. That's right, Charlie Sheen. Okay, yeah, Charlie Sheen. And who is his that's his brother, Emilio Estevez. His brother is Emilio Estevez, and his dad is Martin Sheen. Okay. Charlie Sheen. They showing him a lot. It's like, why? Now we have a white woman talking about smoking crack on the podcast. I've never in my life seen this before.
You can't function on crack.
You cannot function on crack. I did for a little while. Yeah, things got really bad quickly.
Brought you to your knees, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
And do you still have your kid?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And now I'm a dental assistant, right? So I'm supposed to be sitting there doing these procedures with the dentist. And I like made up that I have IBS. I'm getting up like every 5 minutes. And these are like hour and a half, 2 hour, 3 hour appointments for like major dental work. And I'm supposed to be there doing all the fucking things. And I'm like, oh, gotta go. You know, I'm smoking crack at my job. Fucking, we had a storage closet. I would be like, I'm gonna reorganize the whole entire storage closet and like whatever. And I'm in there smoking crack. I'm in the fucking back where we're making molds. I'm cooking crack in there. Like, that's insane.
So, do we get what's happening here? The drugs, and the reason why I play this right now is because the drugs have done a lot of damage to society. This is a dental assistant smoking crack during the actual job. You on a table, mouth open, they in your mouth doing all this. She up there beaming the Scotty in the closet and come back and work on you. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want my dental assistant, I don't want my dentist having crack smokers in my mouth. That sounds crazy. I'm sorry. Would they say pause or whatever? I'm not 10 years old, but anyway, I don't want to have a crack smoker fiddling around in there. I'm good. I don't know if y'all got to do drug tests. Hey, man, when I was a kid, we had to do drug tests. We had to do a drug test to work at Old Country Buffet, to work anywhere. You got to do a P test and figure out what's happening. So maybe your dental assistant, your dentist should say, hey, you know what? Let's do a drug test. I don't want nobody on crack, on fentanyl, nothing like that, all up in there. Yes, that's right, Phoenix. Crack is whack. Crack is most certainly whack. It is scary because when drugs infiltrate society, that is the kind of thing you get. Okay? That's what you get. Anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. We got super chats on deck, and then we're going to get to the calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Sue says you worked dental for 40 years. Have you ever seen anything like that in your 40 years, Sue? Somebody high on drugs, working on patients. I mean, that's crazy, but it's 2025. I was on the phone with a friend last night, and if you're watching, shout out to you. And I'm telling them about the crack wars that whole time. And what you got to watch if you've not seen it is Cocaine Cowboys, about the drug war in Miami in the 80s when they brought the Cubans over on the boat lift. Anyway, drugs got so bad, the cocaine, the crack was everywhere. Drugs were so bad, an entire police class, an academy of new police officers, the entire class died or went to jail because they were all linked to drugs in some kind of way. They had to lower the hiring requirements. First it was you couldn't have used drugs at all. Then it became you couldn't have used drugs in the past 12 months. Then it became you couldn't have used drugs in the past 6 months. Then they got to the point where they said, don't be high on the interview and you're hired. And as a result of lowering the standards, they got a bunch of bad people that shouldn't have been cops, and the entire class went to jail or died. Yeah, the 80s were crazy, man. I don't think we're going to go back there as far as, we're not going to go back there as far as the level of crime and violence. I don't think so. People talking about civil war. No, we're not anywhere. We're not anywhere close to that at all. All right. But if you like what you're hearing, somebody know what to do. Before we get to the calls, I got super chats on deck. I'm going to read those. Then I'm going to get to the calls. Thank you to Trisha, who says, blame the white woman. I'll take one for the team. Thank you, Trisha. I appreciate you. Thank you to Michael Crislow, who says, breaking. Obama shares stage with radical Attorney General candidate Jay Jones after advocating murder of his political opponent while endorsing liberal white candidate over black conservative woman from in Norfolk, Virginia. Oh, he was in Norfolk. That's funny. All right. Shout out to Jay. And I heard that dude, Jay Jones, talk. I don't know. He's kind of funny. He's kind of weird. He's weird. I'm going to label him as weird. If you from Virginia and talk like that, you weird. Anyway, thank you to Dolores, who says, I agree. Thank you to Dolores again for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Ryan Henderson who says, bring back people using the broom on the highways. Right on. Thank you to Michael Critchlow who says, how do you feel about Trump cutting aid and threatening military action in Nigeria over persecuted Christians? I don't know how I feel about that. I got to look more into it. I think it's a good thing to want to stop that action from happening, but I'm not sure where it can be done realistically, because the problem is you have Muslims in the north and Christians in the south. So where they meet, which is going to be in the north, is going to be conflicts. What can you do to stop that? Make them become Christian? Make them become Muslim? I don't really know. Iron Spider says the regions that will do the best would be a tie between the Northeast and the Southeast. Right on. Because that's the OG Americans right there. The East Coast people, we're the OG Americans. Everybody else, I came afterward. Thank you to Cardinal Flanagan who says Animal Farm 1943, Mom Donnie Farm, New York 2026. That's what they call progress now, exactly. Thank you to Cardinal Flanagan who says, really crazy New York would vote in someone who pledges to remove the 9/11 memorial for one of another country that's in that city. Thank you to Michael Guest who says, when the minimum wage gets raised, so does the cost of everything. The masses, public, haven't figured that out yet. How stupid. Exactly. And I was saying that for years. I got a whole playlist on my channel right now that says minimum wage. And I'm echoing that sentiment for years now. Since I started 2015, I've been saying the same thing. When you raise the so-called minimum wage, you're artificially raising wages, forcing the employers to be able to match it. And they have to do things to match it. They can't just pay it with no changes. Because somebody that's ignorant, and when I was young, I understood this. When I was real young, when I was like probably about 18, 19, I understood you couldn't just raise wages because there's costs associated with business. My dad told me this. My dad told me he was more of a liberal guy, but just a man, a masculine man. What he told me was he used to be a manager at Home Depot. He used to be a Home Depot manager. And the most expensive thing was always the payroll. Always. So you want to cut the payroll to save money. If you can't cut payroll, what you got to do, and what that means, cutting payroll is cutting jobs or cutting hours or a combination of both. If you can't cut payroll or you've cut it and you still got expenses to make up, the next thing is raising the price of your goods and your services. Ultimately, it's going to cause job loss and inflation. So where's the benefit? To those who remain, I suppose. But to those who remain, now they live in the world in which things are more expensive. So you got to raise, congratulations, but also the things you buy every day have gone up by that same price. And when you don't have a job, you're going to be even lower to the ground because you don't have the money you need to pay for the newly expensive things. Thank you to Ryan Henderson who says EBT equals drug tests and work requirements, 100% right on. Thank you to It's Anita who says it's a no for Marjorie. Women are too emotional. And that is from a young lady right there. Shout out to Lanita. Thank you to Ryan Anderson who says our president is the Energizer Bunny. That man got energy. I love it. Thank you to Lil Bloy Boo who says the question isn't loaded. The non-interference clause bars the government from negotiating drug prices for Medicare. This is corporate welfare, ABL. But you're comparing things that aren't necessarily the same thing. Like, let's compare apples to oranges, not apples. Let's compare apples, not apples to oranges. Thank you to Michael Guest who says, keep the big, beautiful bill in place. The Democrats will blink first. Thank you to Ryan Anderson who says, I used to live in California and it wasn't always legal working in restaurants, hotels. No, it was not like that. That's a new thing. Thank you to Michael Guest who says, isn't an undocumented immigrant an illegal alien? Yes, 100%. But they play funny with language and stuff like that all the time. They try to make it sound better than what it is. Thank you to Ryan Henderson who says, John Fetterman to the liberals might be brain damaged, but to somebody in the natural might be brain rewired. Hey, there you go. Thank you to Bruce Rice who says, Jasmine Crockett equals Angela Davis meets Clower and Piven standing in the Zen River from across the pond to the DNC. Thank you to Michael Guest who says, I remember when the Vietnam veterans I remember the Vietnam veterans battle cry against her. I'm not Fonda Jane. Thank you to Ryan Henderson, who says Democrats have stars. Okay, collapse stars. That's why it's a black hole. There you go. There you go. Thank you to Bruce Rice, who says, does Anchor Baby Kamar millions still want to abolish ICE, or is that just the perception? Thank you to Bruce Rice, who says, when you elect Zoran, Chuck Schumer becomes Jerry Corbyn, first Muslim mayor. Hey, I love your burqa suit. Is that a French maid? Thank you to Bruce Rice, who says, ABL, toughest thing to do now is stay positive as you watch the left implode and eat themselves. Early celebration makes for an inevitable loser. Never been better, right, Schumer? Thank you to Golf and Guns, who says, the U.S. dodged a bullet with Kamala. We sure did. Bruce Rice says, consequences to a warm body in the seat has come to perdition, a result of what happens when you extend the bell curve to government leadership positions. Ryan Henderson says, if you want to leave, get a ticket and self-deport. Thank you to Anna D, who says, get them out. We who did it legally and even became citizens do not appreciate being lumped in with them. We are not the same. I agree with you. Shout out to you, Anna D. Thank you to Bruce, who says, no pandering, sink or swim. We are MAGA. We are America first. Thank you to Whalers 860, who says, when the clock strikes midnight tonight, my child support is done. After 18 long, hard, miserable years dealing with my baby mama, I'm finished. 18 down. Hey, I felt your words right at my chest. I felt your words reading it. I felt it. So congratulations, bro. It's been a long journey. I know it's been you going back and forth with baby mama. Hey man, now you can breathe a little bit easier. Now you could be at some more peace. Okay. Now you could just move forward with the next chapter of your life. So congrats, bro. Congrats. Thank you to Bruce, who says, give them an inch, they will take a mile. Give them that mile and they will take your country. Quote, Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Thank you to Dolores, who says, just nothing. A super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you to Man in the Face, who says, a government big enough to give you everything you want is big enough to take away everything you have. Thomas Jefferson, right on. 100%. Thank you to Kelly, who says, Butterball ABL, more like bloated tick. Bloated tick is crazy. Thank you to Rebel Without a Reason, who says 20 cops, Mississippi, were indicted and or fired in the drug trafficking and bribery conspiracy yesterday. That's that Miami stuff right there. Mississippi, that's crazy how that works. Thank you to Amp Draw for the American flag donation. I appreciate you. All righty. Let's get to some calls. The number to call again, 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287 is the number to call. Let's go ahead and get rocking. All right. Well, shout out to you. Hey, my man, child support, you done. Congrats, bro. Enjoy yourself, man. I don't know how you're going to celebrate, but you got to just, hey, first of all, just be in the moment and appreciate it, man. So shout out to you. All right. And shout out to the dads out there. The good parents out there. Shout out to you guys. Really just take care of your kids. Do the right thing. Regardless of what. Regardless of any kind of difficulties, you doing all you can do. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. 100%. Yeah, I see y'all all the time, every day, doing it big. Yeah, that's something else they could do. Join the military. That's something else. Yep. You know, back in the day, you got people that weren't really, not really doing anything. Okay, well, join the military and see how well that works out for you. That'd be my suggestion. 860, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, it's been a while. It's F&A Ranger Xbox. How you doing, sir?
It's all good, man. How about yourself?
Well, I finally got on Social Security disability since my life was destroyed by, Joe Biden and the Democrats. Lloyd Austin and Raytheon, thanks. Big shout out to you traders. Anyhow, other than that, my son, he's 13 years old, and I told everybody my whole life how I was going to raise my kids, and everybody told me I was crazy. Oh, you say that now, but it's different once you have them. No, I'm German and Russian. I say what I mean what I say. When my children were young and they couldn't understand language, I had to give a little boom boom on the butt, but never after age 4 or 5. My kids, uh, I take photographs of the comments of my 13-year-old son from his teachers every year on his report card. I mean, after they got 5 years old and I could talk to them more, I did more talking than anything else and told them my job as your parent is to let you know that life sucks. You need to be able to take care of yourself and nobody else is going to care about you. So be ready. Get out there and get it done. And that's all I got, Anthony. God bless you. Oh, I'm writing a book.
Okay.
You know that in 1983, when I was working in the headquarters of CTAF, I almost started World War III. I tricked the Soviet Union into turning their radio frequency jammers off so I could get this message out to all the missile silos.
Okay.
That's not the funny part. The funny part is when I sat down in Irkutsk, Siberia, in the Irkut Aircraft Corporation, where they built the big the Su-30 Superfighter, and I'm sitting in the colonel's desk looking for a security clearance to work in there. And I spent 3 months in Siberia. After me being in Siberia for 3 months, I broke them, and they selected me as first flight test in Moscow later on that year. And it's a hell. I can't make this up. But I'll let you go with that, ABL. I've stayed away for a while because I've been doing a lot of writing, but I've been watching the channel, lurking in the background. God bless you, sir. Keep doing what you're doing. God bless America. Everybody out there, God bless you and your kids. Good night, everybody. Bye.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. And shout out to you guys. Again, the number to call, 706-406-3287. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content tonight, if you enjoy the show tonight so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, you guys are the absolute best. you guys, the comments are always funny when I'm on the call. 803, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Robert from South Carolina.
All right, what's going on?
How you doing, ABL?
It's all good. Can't complain.
Hey, I just keep it simple. I remember the days when people felt shame that they were on government assistance, whether it be housing, food stamps, whatever. Do you think this might bring it to where some of them might change their thought of mind to say, hey, maybe I'll just get a job and get out of this free housing and maybe, at the end of the day, put in a hard day's work and get some satisfaction and move on with your life to make better, decisions with your life in general?
I think some of them are going to say, you know what? I'm on these benefits and I don't like how they kind of controlled me and made me go do something I didn't want to do. So rather than just basically working for them or working the way they want, I'll go out there and get a regular job.
Yeah, I mean, I was born in Washington, D.C., and my grandfather was in the fire department, kind of like your dad was a fireman, and he always worked 2 or 3 jobs on his days off. You got to get out there and do a little hustle, and I don't know, just hard work just is satisfying to me. And I went and got an engineering degree, so I put in the work, the hours. Now I'm old, feeble, and now I got to sign up for Medicare, A and B and C and D, and spend all kinds of money while the system is being overrun by people that don't pay anything. So I just think people need to get back to basic. If you want to get your life in order, put God first, family, have a normal family unit So when you have kids, they grow up normal because they're looking at mom and dad out there hustling and not sitting and, doing nothing and going to get their nails done. That's all I got to say. I'll hang up and listen to you.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
All right, great call. Shout out to the caller. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to 623. You don't line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Steven. How you been?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. Staying busy. I did some research about the Republican Party. Did you know that they were the last third party to come and rise to power?
I did not.
Yes. Before them, it was a party called the Whigs.
Yeah.
WHIG. And I just thought that was really cool because, like I said, I was going into some research. Hold on, Dad. About like how the freeing of the slaves and stuff came about. And then I just saw that, and I was like, oh, so there was another second party. But yeah, just an interesting thing. And then last week I called, and I was asking, do you think it would be a smart, or my question was, do you think we should have immigrants not run for any office? Because we can't let them run for president. But you see now with like Elhan and Mamdani. And the only reason I brought up Patrick Bet-David, I think he's Serbian, not Somalian.
No, he's originally from Iran. He's Iranian.
Okay, yeah. So, do you think, like, even if Pierce Morgan were to try to run down here in America, I would be like, nah, like not their ideals either from France. But yeah, do you think that would be a good idea to maybe amend, not letting, at least until they're like third generation Americans, so that way their like teachings and stuff don't infiltrate? But yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right. So to answer his question, I wouldn't do that as far as banning immigrants from running for office. I wouldn't do that. But to be the president, yeah. Certain things, yeah, like to be the president, yeah. Because that's a pretty important thing. It's just the same way that a woman is not going to win the presidency. But she become the governor or a senator, yeah. But the president, no. Because that's the guy with the finger on the button. And also, I would say that if I was to vote, I would not vote for a person who is not really an American in my particular community. For example, and especially for a big city like New York City, like I wouldn't vote for Zoran because Zoran is not really an American. Zoran is a Ugandan and an Indian. He didn't really grow up here. But then again, let's talk about Barack Obama because he did not really grow up here. If you want to keep it all the way real, he grew up in Indonesia with his white mom and his Indonesian or whatever Asian he was stepdad, Lolo Sotoro, which is why Barack Obama was at one point named Barry Sotoro. Barry for Barack and Sotoro for his Asian stepdad's last name. And then as a teenager, I suppose, he went to Hawaii with his white grandparents. You did not live in the lower 48 with us. And even before you came to Hawaii, you were living in Indonesia. That's where your formative years were. Same thing with Kamala. She grew up in French Canada, not the United States. So although they are American born, I don't consider them to be Americans. But if you are Winsome Earl Sears and you came here at 6 years old and you grew up in America, in Brooklyn and Bronx and whatnot, you're more American, in my opinion, than Barack Obama or Kamala Harris, although they're both born in America. Does it make any sense? 859 your line, ticket to.
Hey, ABL, how's it going? It's a libertarian here. Just working as usual, living life, working out. And you talked about diets and food and stuff like that. And, I'm a baller with a budget, my friend, especially losing a couple jobs here and there, man. Dude, I can give some heads up on people who want to stay their fitness goals while on the budget. Tuna fish is a good protein for everybody, and a good filler is white rice.
Yeah, definitely get some rice. If you got to eat white, that's fine. I say brown, but white is okay. And get the rice in the bag and put it on the pot and actually, make it that way rather than getting the instant rice.
And, it was also good for like time consuming is usually like fruits and vegetables, like vegetables, like frozen vegetables you throw in the pan with some microwavable rice and then go to the gym or white on it. I mean, with all the secession problems, and don't get me wrong, there's been a few times I went to a food bank a few times, unfortunately, because of money problems, and everybody has one point been there before, and and I get it. I get why people are like stressing out about the whole stamp program, but people are blaming the left and right. I kind of blame the people who abuse the SNAP benefits a little bit, because like I said, when I was younger, I've seen so many people took advantage of it. They would spend all their food stamps on concert tickets. And, you know, when I was younger, I kind of looked down upon that. But, you know, that's the thing is, when when you look at stuff, when you break down stuff, when you cook stuff yourself, compared to eating fast food, it's a lot easier and a lot more simpler and a lot cheaper to eat at home sometimes. And you know what? It's a lot more healthier for you, because all of these food out here in restaurants, they're genetically altered to basically be addictive. McDonald's, I guarantee you, that big guy, no different than the drug addict down the street. Hey, thank you very much for taking my call, ABO. I've heard, like I said, I've heard some of the stuff you talked about, like, you know, losing your job, people, you know, going through problems, just like that. Me and my roommate, who is worked in security as well as bodybuilder, we're on a tight pinch ourselves financially, and we, like I said, we make end meets by doing research and looking into stuff. But like I said, there's ways of protein that you can get that is not super expensive, and you can still eat healthy, not super expensive. So thank you very much for taking my phone call, ABL. Luciferian Libertarian out. Much love. See you guys later.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
No problem, man. Much love to you, bro.
All right, so let me tell you what I do. My salmon and rice, my famous salmon and rice. Like my meal, my big meal for the day, my one meal for the day. I might eat more than that, but my main thing is the salmon and rice. The salmon, the one I just got, I always get it fresh from Publix. And the fresh on a thing, not in the bag already, is just out. You go there, get them, cut it for you, bag it up for you, or whatever. I spent $20 on 2 fat fillets. So that was like $1.5 pounds for $20. And that was enough for me for 4 days. I cut both of the fillets in half, and I baked both. I baked one day, cut it in half, ate the piece of it the next day, baked the next piece the next day, cut that, ate the remainder the next day. You couple that with a 1/4 cup brown rice, and a serving is a 1/4 cup. And you can get a bag of brown rice for like maybe about $3 with 20 servings in it. So do the math. And the serving is a 1/4 cup. That's all you're going to need, a 1/4 cup dry. So a 1/4 cup brown rice, and with the 1/4 cup brown, you're going to add a 1/2 cup of water to a pot. Boil it, get it to boiling, pour the rice on top, put a lid on it, put it down to a simmer. And then you're going to cut up you can get tomato. I like tomatoes for whatever the price may be. And the avocado might cost you about $1 or $1.25 for one avocado. It depends on where you at. So if you got your fish at $20 and you could quarter that, so you got 4 pieces, it's going to be $5 for a piece of fish. Your rice is going to be a 1/4 cup out of a bag that might cost, let's say, $2. So that's going to be about what? If you got 20 servings and it costs $2, what, 20 cents maybe? 10 cents for one serving? So I wouldn't even count that. You could just say $5. Then your avocado and your tomato, you could round it up to about maybe $7. So for $7, you get you a nice hearty meal that's going to be nutritious, healthy, and it will help you regulate your weight, and you're going to feel good after you eat it. Now, you could go to Chick-fil-A and get that DoorDash to your house and spend $20 and get a bunch of bad calories, empty calories, fried food, hydrogenated oils, all kind of extra stuff, preservatives, F-ranked food, F-ranked chicken. Do what I do and get a better meal. You see the way I look, you can look the same way a little bit. You know, if you're not a Nigerian, you might look different if you're not a Nigerian. But for real though, anybody can eat that and you're gonna feel good. If you eating boxes with colorful stuff on it and that's it, you're not eating real food. You're not eating real food. Fruit for dessert, you could do fruit for dessert, and you could look at fruit like dessert because that's kind of what it is. This has the sugar in it. You could do that. some strawberries or something like that if you want to be fancy. 3 on the, you're on the line. I'm speaker to.
This is Ron from Georgia. How you doing, ABL? God bless you, brother.
Thank you. I'm doing well. About yourself?
Oh man, great, man. It's an exciting week. We're going to see how this weekend concludes. I tell you, it's been way out just watching everything that's going on with the Senate and the spectacle that they're trying to portray. But you know what? People just need to get a grip. You know, just the whole thing about today, I'm seeing is that people need to understand that you cannot depend upon the government. One thing you can depend upon today will mess things up sometimes, and they mess things up on purpose. But the thing about it is that we just really need to get into the idea that we need to be self-sufficient. You know, we need to be forward-thinking. If we're parents and everything like that, I mean, just like myself, you know, I got young adults and everything like that, but yet we come together as one. And I'm seeing what's going on in the news, and I'm forward-thinking and everything like that, forward-thinking, preparing myself and everything just in case things go south. I know that I got enough food in my house to last me at least 2-3 months. You know what I'm saying? I mean, staples, you know, beans, rice, you know, Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? I got plenty of that. I got canned foods and everything like that. If Armageddon come, I got that, and I got to rotate some of that out. But the thing about it is that these people, they're not thinking about tomorrow. Everything is about right now, and they really need to think about their future. And that's the thing about it. I'm looking at these people going to the stores and everything like that. I'm seeing some YouTube things where these young thugs go in the store, and they go to the liquor store or wherever trying to get their little SNAP things. They, oh, no, I know it's money on my SNAP card. It's not there. And then they're getting all frustrated and getting, man, I know it's there. No, it's not. They don't even look at the news. The government shutdown. Oh, it's really happening? Why are they doing that? Bro, you know, you're here trying to buy chips and a soda pop, and you don't have that type of money. And then one guy said, well, you know what? The heck with it. You know, I don't need this here anyway. And the guy broke out a whole wad of hundreds, and he paid for his $4 worth of food, and he gave the guy 100, told him, keep the change. Come on now. You know that guy said, how you give me this? Are you kidding? The guy said, I'm not kidding. Keep the change. I don't need that money and everything like that. And then walk on out the door. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what my money is being utilized for. They are slamming, you know, taking advantage of those who are seemingly hopeless. You know, but the thing about it, if you listen to these people talk, and we talk about that they need to get a job, man, they can't even hold a conversation. I mean, I couldn't even talk to this guy. If he was working for me, no, bro, this guy can't even hold a conversation. I was going to go ahead and handle somebody, a customer and everything like that. You know, like I said, talking that thug talk and everything like that. Can't talk regular English, you know, and that's another thing. English, bro. What they do to the guys that's driving. Oh man, the one with the guy driving the truck and he's naked inside the truck. You heard about that one?
Oh yeah.
And he got arrested. Oh man. Oh buddy, and you know, they come out there and they say, "Do you understand why are you parking here?" And the guy's like, "Huh? Why are you parking here? Do you understand what I'm saying?" And the guy like, "No, I guess I don't." You know, yeah. Where are you from? You know, give me your license. Yeah, you won't be getting that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is what needs to be going on. I mean, even at the truck stops, the truck weigh stations, you know what they got? They got a 4th grade book and give them to the book. Say, could you please read that? And they can't read it. Give me your license. You're out. You know what I'm saying? We could clean up this whole road. That's jobs available for somebody who want to go ahead and get a job. You know, America, you know, get off the dope. Quit smoking it, get clean, get a job. You know, like I said, get a job. They're out there. Trump is trying to save you, trying to get you to get that work ethics. And even though those who lost their jobs, that went for their, their degrees at underwater basket weaving and everything like that, get a skill, get the real jobs, make some money. You know what I'm saying? And until you go ahead and get your own business and everything like that, if you want to go ahead and be self-sufficient in that way. Good luck. But America is a land of opportunity. We have plenty of opportunities out here, and like you said, all we got to do is just make it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go ahead and make money, like you said, cutting the grass, whatever you have to do, a man would do what he has to do. And so should a woman, and take care. And if a woman have any parenting skills, she would do whatever she has to do. Get off your butt, get to work, figure it out. And that's what I tell my kids, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I know it's hard out there, but it was hard for me too. But hard is good. Hard is good. It'll teach you, and it'll teach you to not to be dependent. You look at history, man, how did those people come through the Great Depression? You know what I'm saying? Those people were waiting in soup lines and everything like that. Men would go out and say, I'm coming back with something for you, honey. You know what I'm saying? No, we might have to do that again. If these people get crazy, I might go ahead and have a soup line just to be generous. I got plenty of beans in my house. I can go ahead and scoop out some beans for them and give it to them freely. It's filling and self-sufficient, and it'll be a blessing unto us. But people just too bougie. Come on now, truffle butter. Come on now, lobsters and truffle butter. No, in fact, that shouldn't even be on the availability to get with their SNAP benefits to get all these here T-bone steaks and lobsters and crab and everything like that. No, bruh. Like you said, get the vegetables, rice, get the staples, learn how to cook. Get out of sopers, make your own food. Make your own food, you'll be so much better, so much healthier, and the country will be better. Like you said, man, we need to be lean and mean in America, not fat and whack. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, you know what? I just say God bless my brother because I don't want to keep going and everything, but, time changes tonight. Fall backward tonight. We get a extra hour sleep, so, brother, so, you'll get a good night's sleep tonight. But you know what? Keep praying for our country. Keep praying for all those who want to do right, and pray for those who are not, and make it so that they can. My knees are on it. I'm telling you, I'm getting some camel knees, brother. I got a lot of knives on my knees right now, praying for these people today, and praying for the protection of our president and his staff. But America, we're greater than that. We'll do better. And, like I said, we be optimistic in America, because we're that type of people. Real Americans is that type of people. And those who come against us, hey, get in line with the illegals. We give $1,000, get the heck out. Keep the real Americans in America. Take the wax out. God bless you, my brother. Yeah, I'll see you the next time, okay, buddy?
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Can't wait till you get to Atlanta, bro.
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
All right, keep us posted.
All right, now.
Bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. Fantastic call. Okay, I got time for one more. 843, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, this is Tyler. Long time, buddy.
Long time, man. What's going on?
Oh, loving that last caller, man. We need some more of him around in America.
Oh, absolutely.
That's that old school. Yeah, that's that old school in him. I was kind of going to piggyback off of what he was saying I know, I'm be 52 here this coming March, and man, I just noticed pretty much in my lifetime, I'm first generation out of the mountains, raised in Ohio, and my people, the ones that have come and worked in the cities and tried to, live the good life. When you go back home now, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I mean, and ran and stuff, but it's just like all of our culture and our will to feed ourselves, to work hard, like the man said, to do whatever you got to do to eat without asking somebody for something. That used to be the worst thing anybody could do, to have to ask somebody. Usually if you had good people, they would see you down, and offer what they could so that the man, didn't even have to come to that. But it's just interesting in such a short time. And it's kind of the same way with, modern black culture in the inner cities. These were rural people from the South that used to garden, raise hogs, shoot hogs, do what they had to do. Didn't complain, didn't ask nobody for nothing. Didn't really need nothing. And now here we are to the point where people are so scared to feed themselves, they don't even know what to do.
Right, exactly. Depending upon that government, they don't know nothing else. But like you said, before it wasn't that way. We could do things on our own. We knew how to build things. We knew how to hunt for food, gather food. We knew how to grow food, have a garden. Like at one point, I was watching Killer Mike. He said in Atlanta, in certain neighborhoods, everybody had a garden. That was just normal.
Yeah, like even Ram, when you was a kid, even up to the early 90s, I'm sure all them old ladies had a garden.
They got gardens now.
Old men, too.
They got them now. Like
Yeah.
my aunt, my grandma, they got a garden now.
Yeah, people put anywhere they could on a hillside and pick rocks out and dig what they had to do. Anywhere they could make something grow, they made something happen.
Yep.
It's scary. Almost as scary as seeing your boy Zohan in 24 years, and we're about to possibly elect this man as the mayor of New York City, of all places. The irony.
It's crazy, man. It's really scary because that's like the flagship. That's the biggest place. So if they could take that over, that's gonna really be hard for Americans.
Yeah, I hate to have the attitude of you get what you get, but what do you do at this point, with these people? I mean, you're just outnumbered with with these young kids that just want free stuff. That's what it is. I mean, there's just really the New York, tough guy, hey, that kind of guy is just gone from New York. It's just soft-handed liberals and a bunch of confused kids that's been lied to for 20 years.
Yep.
It's scary, bro. But yeah, man. Hey, real quick, I don't know if you've seen where your boy Pete Buttigieg, he got handled by a Indian immigrant the other night. You ought to check that out on the immigration situation. He was trying to do his mental gymnastics. One minute he wanted to, back Trump up, but of course he can't fully admit. Just weird seeing how they're going to twist their way through this next election on the immigrant on what they did. So,
right, I'm gonna check it out for sure.
Yeah, brother. But all right. Well, you have a good night, ABL. Keep up the good work. Appreciate you.
Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate you.
All right.
Shout out Tyler. Great call. Okay, I'll say one more, and then I gotta wrap it on up. Put the bow clean on top. 504 online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Alien Spaceship.
Alien Spaceship, what's happening, man?
All right, so I've been doing well. I've been keeping up with some different trials recently. The Folio trial, Alicia was found not guilty, although a lot of people in the chat thought she was probably guilty of conspiring against the rapper.
Yeah, I kind of saw a little bit of that, but I didn't look too much into it. But I remember that whole situation. Like, that's a Jacksonville rapper. They got a big problem with the music industry in that city contributing to murders. It's really sad.
Yeah, and a lot of people have commented about the gang violence. People could be rappers and be, in music industry, but this gang stuff, it just, people get deleted so young, and it certainly, need to stop. It's completely unnecessary for them to do that. So I would, hopefully at some point they could wise up and not choose this path of destruction.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah, I've heard recently, I don't know much about it, but some of these colleges, there's funding for like loans for colleges being cut. Do you think that'll help inflation by doing that?
Maybe so. I didn't think about it that way, but maybe so. Everybody shouldn't go to college, and I think everyone going to college is creating a problem where people just have a bunch of debt on their back for no reason because they shouldn't have been in college anyway. And some of these degrees, and even if, let's say, okay, you want to go to college and your degree is underwater basket weaving, I don't think that should be a degree that is funded at all by the government. That should be something that's optional. The things that should be funded by the government should be things that we need in the country, things that are in demand. Okay, let's have the government fund it, meaning approve a loan for that. But when it comes to these other things, it shouldn't even really be in the equation.
Right. And a very good point. And with, 30 years ago, it was easier for people to, go to college and get a job. But now it's very difficult for people with degrees to get a job. And it's good for people to learn trades. And, there's plumbers that make tons of money.
That's right. Absolutely. And that's going to be the way of the future because with AI and stuff like that, a lot of the computer aided things, the things that could be potentially done by a computer without the human being on it, that's not going to be as in demand, or may go away completely. So those who have skilled trades where they work with their hands, they're going to be the in demand people.
Yeah, and AI and technology is certainly going to be taking over lots of industries in the coming decades. It'll and they make things look so realistic now. I mean, it's going to certainly improve. There will be pros and cons to it, but certainly the world of tech will certainly take over a lot of trades and different things like that.
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, and something else, I've been talking to different people. I've noticed that, with the sometimes with the welfare system, we've talked about this before. There will be sometimes they were encouraged to have lots of kids, and then they were given more money. And I do think as we've talked on the show, there's people that took advantage of the system and tried to, just get money and not really do what they're supposed to do. And just more people around the country and the world are noticing these things that we talked about here.
Oh, for sure. And I'm glad to a certain extent that this is happening, because people need to be aware. Not everybody is aware of what's going on with the way that these programs are abused, but now I think the message is being spread.
Yeah, especially with social media, and people can see nowadays with how everything's going out, because I do believe the truth will set someone free, and people are seeing it completely unravel. And with inflation and stuff, people could see, they work hard and do what they're supposed to do. There's other people that are trying to cheat the system. So it is good people are waking up.
Absolutely, 100%.
Right. And also, I like to know, how's everything with you?
Everything is good, man. Can't complain at all.
Yeah. Now, weather speaking, where I am, the weather got cooler, and like fall weather came here, and I'm sure where you are, it's fall weather.
Yeah, it's definitely fall weather. It's not too cold. It's like right now 55 degrees. So, and then in the daytime might be like 65, 60, something like that. So, not too cold. Definitely fall weather.
Okay. Now, shout out to you in chat, and have a good night. Thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All right. Shout out to Alien Spaceship. Shout out to all you guys for calling. Great calls tonight, as always. But that'll be a wrap for me. I'll be back live, of course, same bat time, same bat place on Wednesday on the YouTubes, 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm live every Tuesday on the Instagrams at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All righty. So, again, that'll be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. I'll be back next week live, but I'm here pretty much every day putting up pre-recorded content on my YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Follow me everywhere, because I put some things on my IG, Facebook that I don't put on YouTube because of the way YouTube is. They want each platform wants its own different thing. So I try to just make it make sense for where I'm at. So follow me everywhere. You can follow me on TikTok, but TikTok, they don't like me too much. I'm a little bit too hardcore, I suppose, to them. I don't think I am, but they got their own little standards. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you're doing. Y'all know I couldn't do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. But now I got to wrap it on up, put the bow on top. I believe I have one last super chat here. Shout out to Sonia C, who says, if Condoleezza Rice ran for president, she would definitely beat everybody else, as she's a real black woman and her ancestors were free after the Civil War. Well, Condoleezza, she may have a chance, but I would still, regardless of her ancestry, want her to have good ideas. That'd be the main thing. I don't want to, just have somebody in there because they got a certain ancestry, but you definitely onto something. So shout out to her. But that'll pretty much be a wrap. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.